there's no reply. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. So I sit back and relax, still asking myself the same questions. Ignore the facts, I can't turn back. God, please answer me, I'm sick of guessing. I clench my fist, it's gut-wrenching. Show me the way to the peace that I'm missing, I'm not religious. But remember this, I live my life with the best of intentions. Don't bullshit me, it's hard to believe. And everything around me is so diseased. So answer this, who the fuck are you? And who the fuck am I supposed to be? Should I listen to God and all his prophets? Listen to the greed that aligns my pocket. Listen to the hypocrite compared to the prophet. Listen to the pain that I clearly adopted. I can't move on when I'm stuck in the past. Hard to forget with a flag at half-mast. Hard to live when the move so fast. And everything around me is made of glass. And I wanna let you know that I got the message. Stuck in the rut and I'm up for suggestions. But where the fuck is the light of my tunnel? So hand me the balance, I'm starting to stumble. They always say that
What's up, guys?
when happiness is in short supply, they hand you a pill and they tell you to try to love you. Now I can't deny, drive myself crazy with the reasons why I can't come
How's
to
everybody
terms
doing
with the
tonight?
word goodbye. There's no reply. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage, so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Yeah. I want you to listen to me. Now pay attention. Welcome to my sideshow, enjoy the free admission. The drama club isn't accepting submissions. Done with all that bullshit, this family's nothing to fuck with. Unless you really want it, then we'll add you to that hit list. Tried to prevent these events to such extent, I gave in. I was hell-bent, I still lost you in the end. I take 2 sets forward and I take 3 sets back. You can hear the contradiction, maybe I really am a psychopath. The meaning in life, it's not a secret that you keep. It's days and weeks of feeling weak, no sleeping and repeat. Lose your mind and then you find it and get buried underneath.
Welcome, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you. Please share it out since we're on the backup stuff.
But you idiots never listen. I guess in what I'm saying, since there is no comprehension. My bleeding heart, fell apart, let it be your intervention. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. I sit back and I reflect and I think about the past. It's set in stone, I have to view it through the glass. Made a lot of mistakes, I'm learning to adapt. I sit alone and overanalyze the aftermath. No straight and narrow, always seeking out a shortcut. And in the further back, see me playing catch up in the days of sin wonder.
Thank you, Mason. I appreciate it.
Getting any younger, not made up what I made of. I suggested you just keep a zip. Had to lose my brother to learn the value of relationships. I can't forget, I take myself a little trip down memory lane. It's as real as it gets. Sometimes I scare myself from what I really might do. I keep telling you, I've got a couple.
Yeah, Kim Possible's actually super interesting.
That's okay, you can join me in the institute. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. I am back, I am better than ever. I survived a little storm and kept my own shit together. But inside my desperation, I was seeking desperate measures. There's a change up in the season, and I'm just a little weathered. There's a thin line between happiness and misery. Pursue the truth, life is not a fucking mystery. Get a clue, common sense is not your enemy. I was just like you, concerned with just the victory. I used to be a hothead, got a firm grip on my temper. I'm on that next level, balance
hey everybody.
on the center. dangerous. It seems to be my motivator.
I'm gonna start. I forgot to start the damn countdown. I'll start it just so it's going, but we'll start kind of early. I'm almost ready.
Can't call my nightmares with a motherfucking lullaby. So fire up that cigarette, pour a shot that multiplies. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. Lean back, come on, get relaxed. Take another hit, headed for a relapse. Lose your mind with me. Lose your mind with me. With clenched fists, my hands steady. I'm ready to take this leap of faith, and my palms sweaty. I'm so afraid, in a state of panic. I'm a basket case. I step back, I'm hell bent. In this first attempt, gotta keep the pace. If God forgives, I'm ready to live this life full of unpromised days. So fuck it now, I'm all in. Hate motherfuckers wanna keep me down, and what goes around, it comes around. If heaven don't want me, then I'm hellbound. And inside my man, it's Southside land. Set fire to the past, walk through these ashes, fighting for the best. Dip black, Fred is shopping. Come and take a ride with me, motherfucker, hop in. Welcome back at a full clip. All aboard this crazy train. No money, no cars, no champagne, but I'm still alive and I can't complain. But trauma free, it's plain to see. Getting used to this growing pain. Success is certain. Back to work and goddamn, I can feel the change. Side of the coin, I'm paranoid. On the surface, I play it cool and I'm afraid of heights, but out of spite, you put me up on this pedestal. But I love you, and I can't deny. Drive myself crazy with the reasons why I can't come to terms with the word goodbye. And the reason is there's no reply. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage.
Let's go ahead and kill that countdown timer. I think I'm ready. If you guys are ready.
Darkest days, spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. Show me the beauty when the color fades, color fades. Give me the courage so I'm not afraid, so I'm not afraid. Spread some sunlight on my darkest days, darkest days. So I sit back and relax.
Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird. This is the Cold Beer Confessional. Starting a little bit different. I'm just going to touch on the fact that I appreciate you guys following us. I appreciate you being here. A lot of stuff went off the rails last night. That's been gone over and over again. I haven't heard from anybody. I just got to see their shows, I guess. You might not like the way I say things. You might not like the way I address things, but I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to feed you hope. I'm not going to feed you bullshit. I'm not going to give you any of that. What I give you will be the truth. I have been wrong. I probably will be wrong again. And you can just roll back through my back catalog. The first thing I do when I come back on the show is correct where I was wrong and why I was wrong. And here's the actual correct information. I've never claimed to be right 1,000% of the time. I've got to answer for what I do and I put out. You've got to answer for what you do and you put out. And somewhere between the two, everybody will figure it out. So just letting you guys know that I did see everything. I'm still trying to take it all in and see what. I don't know. I never heard from anybody other than the show and what I read in chat. So just letting you guys know that I got it. Understand. We'll figure it out. But we're going to start the show right now. I don't know. I can't get the second mic working. Mariah was going to come back on with us tonight. I can't get the second mic working, but maybe we'll get her to come on anyways, sit down beside me, even though it's kind of cramped right here. We'll see. But either way, let's start the show. Remember, we're on the backup channel, CBC Media Group, youtube.com/CBC Media Group. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Same thing on Facebook. If you want to donate, you guys know how to do that. I do use that to get by. That's how we pay our bills. We have a GoFundMe for the current struggle we're going through of getting thrown out of our house. And buymeacoffee.com if you're coming from Facebook. We do use that to pay the bills, take care of the kids, keep a roof over our heads. So just so you guys know, I've never claimed I did anything else with it. But yeah, let's start the show. Here we go. Uh-oh. Let me kill this music.
Man, I can't talk to you now. Why do people call me while I'm on? No. Shut up.
Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Yeah.
It's some office about to get lit. Get the place in the face, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Uh-oh.
It's some office about to get lit. Get the place in the face, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And yeah. And
Mars in the house.
The song, the jab, pine needle tea,
Underground Doms save the children.
Social Security card claims, birth certificate claims, Vatican Tunnel,
Medbed
law,
1745, 10 Days of Darkness. Digging
900 yards there, 107. That's nice.
Evergreen. 19. Vaseline. Boom.
Here we go,
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
it's some off.
Well, Johnny, you can go to mommy's basement.
You better buckle up.
The Nazis were working with the reptilians.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. It's some office about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Ain't seen none yet.
We are now the news.
There we go, everybody. Like I said, Will Bard, Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us tonight. A couple more things. One, I kind of like being wrong because that means I get to figure out something new. I hate feeling like I know something already to a level that it becomes uninteresting to me. And second of all, if you don't know at all what I'm talking about, it just seemed like there were a few shows laid out last night that I honestly believe that they were probably talking about you guys in the chat, but it was laid out in a way that it seemed like not only you guys, but it was attacking me for what I do and what I stand for. And then the one person I figured would have stood up and said, "Hey, no, that's not right. That's not how it always goes. You guys know that it's not." Didn't exactly do their part either, as far as I'm concerned. But it's not a big deal. Like I said, we can move on. We got a full show tonight. We're gonna talk about Kim Possible. She's batshit crazy, anyways. And maybe those people will figure it out. I don't know. It's not in my hands, right? All I did was my show. I gave everybody the benefit of the doubt. The worst thing I said in my show last night was, I wish he'd ask him how you turned in your birth certificate, and then I started laughing. I never said anything bad about anybody or to anybody or insinuated anything with anybody. And then I felt like I got thrown under the bus, or it seems as if I got thrown under the bus, and I taught the bus driver how to drive the bus. But anyways, let's get on with the show. Kim Possible, that's what we're going to cover tonight. We'll probably get into some other things, but we're definitely going to start here with Kim. I think this is the first video I ever saw Kim Possible in. Let's check it out.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to a very special Q&A today. We've been gathering questions for about 2 weeks now, and Kim and I discussed this morning. And she is actually going to give everybody a very special treat. She's going to break down how the world's global financial system actually works.
Kim Possible's been around for a little while. She used to have this thing called Kingdom of Mana, which we'll probably touch on some. She's in kind of a different place now, but she's been around for a while.
A lot of times it doesn't work, depending on your perspective. So whenever she's ready, we're going to start there because we realize a lot of the questions that come in, it has to do with the financial system. So if you sent in a question...
This was from back in September, if you're wondering, September 2020.
Carefully, and we're going to let Miss Kimberly Ann Gogan explain with expertise...
Almost a year old.
...she has, which is made very clear by the kind of the constant incompetence that we see and failure to perform from banks and governments around the world. So please, if you happen to be in the banking world or financial world, share this with them so that they know exactly how things work, and hopefully we'll make some progress.
When I started this job, I had no idea exactly how not only the financial system, but the entire electronic system of the world was structured. I first got into the system myself in beginning of 2016, and I saw exactly how much power the system had over everything we do, literally everything. So I kind of wanted to lay this part out for you, and then we'll lead into the financial sector, telecom sector.
This is Kim Gogan, G-O-G, I think it's E-U-N or U-E-N, I can't remember. Kim Gogan. Kim Possible is what they call her.
Stargate, Starnet, and how the entire world had functioned before we started, and where we are today, and how far we've come. So I know there's a lot of questions about, well, if Kim has this trust, why isn't she just transferring money all over the place? You know, why hasn't this happened yet? We have a lot of naysayers that have questioned my capacity to perform and a number of different things. So we'll go over legal structures, we'll go over financial structures, and I think this should answer a lot of the questions that people have.
It is G-O-G-U-E-N, U-E-N.
So if you can't see at any point in time, Lane, I guess, or someone, just text me on
Here's a little description someone wrote on Know Your Meme. Kim Ann Gogan wears many hats and is one of the most important people on the planet. Kim and her role is unknown by the majority of the people around the world. However, she is a very well-known member, very well known by members of the deep state. One of the reasons for this is because she replaced the malevolent predecessor, Marduk, over a decade ago. Her predecessor was the Cabal's leader, not the people's leader by any stretch of the imagination, but in reality, he wasn't their leader either. They too were his slaves, but they didn't see it that way. In fact, many still don't. Marduk is deceased. He was a trustee, comptroller of the trust prior to Kim, member of the family, in quotes, plotting to become, quote, king of the world. He was also known as, quote, the great dictator, end quote, and was in fact Sun Tzu, author of The Art of War. Marduk was plotting a one world order to serve only him. He was responsible for the Iron Mountain study, which he used to further this agenda. Those following his legacy are still trying to execute his plan. Kim was the first person to hold the seat who wants to end human enslavement that has existed on our planet for over 16,000 years, not perpetuate it. I kept trying to say perpetrate. Perpetuate it. This has gained her many enemies and a few friends. But that surely is going to change with this as humanity finally starts to really wake up to the facts of how, when, and by whom human enslavement was imposed on our planet. I base many of my blog posts on information I obtained from WikiCalls. Kimberly Ann Gogan has been provided for the last few months. Has been providing for the last few months. She delivers intel for the Life Force team in these weekly reports and is now delivering live via their new platform that she and her team created called United News Network. Kim wears 7 hats. She's the Universal Protection Unit Commander. She is Commander of Earth Races Galactic Council Ambassador of Earth. She is Human Ambassador to all Earth races. She is the Controller of the Planetary Quantum System Original DNA Representative of Humanity. She is Representative of Humanity for Disbursement of Planetary Assets Trustee, Mana World Holding Trust. She is the ranking bloodline royal of all Earth kingdoms, Tsar of Russia, and she is also quantum physics executive. Those are the 7 roles that she currently holds. Yeah, she's big news, okay?
Telegram in the core team, and I'll try to pick it up. Okay? All right, so to go back through history, we all know that Rothschild wears the Ring of Solomon, right? But how does that pertain to the electronic system of planet Earth? And I'm about to explain that to you in detail. So this is where we were when I first started. Okay, so you have the backside system. Okay, this would be the backside system, and then you had the front side system. This is control and command. Okay, and that has several subsectors. Okay, or level 9. Okay, this would have been control and command, level 9, on the front system. Okay.
Okay.
And I know if you've followed alternative media quite a bit, then you'll understand what this means when I say this was, because it
She's
doesn't
not only does she have a whiteboard, she has one of those funny looking umbrella diffusing lights.
exist anymore. People
Looking
have-
official over here.
Remember, everybody kept talking about the black screen and how the black screen was going to release the RV and all of these things were going to happen. Well, that was control and command for the entire front side system. And
No, she's not drawing a pentagram. She's drawing 2 overlap triangles. One up, one down.
in detail what that is. This was control and command over the backside system.
Okay.
Okay, so this would have been your omega.
Okay.
This would have been your alpha.
Alpha and omega. I've heard those before.
Talking in the RV circles about the alpha omega trust. This is what they're talking about. Now, in the past, Rothschild never was a level 9. They would have been a level 8. And if you go to Speak Project, you can the website, you can actually see a picture of the blue ring, which signifies the blue dragon, which talks about Rothschild, which has clearly the 888 on the side of the ring,
Oh.
along with the dragons, which are symbolic of the Draco. So the Draco would have had been a 9. They would have been an 8. So let me simplify the backside system now that we understand control and how it all works, right?
Okay.
Lost oh, there we go. Okay. So there are many levels of coding in the world. And the front side systems, all systems, have over 13 levels of coding. The backside system has several layers of coding as well. And let me explain to you what they mean. Okay, 7, 3,
9873. Okay.
sorry,
I'm with you. So, oh, damn it.
7, 6,
Oh, shit.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. So if you were to go into the
That makes more sense because that's just like counting.
backside system, here's what you would see. Now, everything is controlled by control and command, which has many other subsectors, but we're going to start with how the control of the world happened. Okay, so level 1 is what you would call screen 1. So if you were actually having access codes to the backside system, which is one code in itself, okay? That is one code to enter into this system, and still you were only permitted to see certain sections of the system. You were never permitted to see control and command. You were only permitted to see things that were financial, okay? Now on screen 1, if you were to open the back system, what you would see is the name of the account,
Okay.
and you would actually see the amount on deposit,
Okay.
and if there is a bank associated with the account, you would see that bank name, okay? This unto itself is completely and totally useless. You would also see an account number. And I'll tell you why, because it's just numbers on a screen. You definitely need to have allocation numbers. You need to have a history of funds. You need to have a history of why those funds
Thank
were
you, Kelly.
actually issued, okay? And we'll get to that in another level. So levels of control, okay? Screen number 2, a signatory for that account. So on this screen now, on every single account that's in the back system, you'll see my passport, the date of my position, and all my information is in there for anybody who wants to know. So before, in the past, you would never have seen a family member, a Dragon family member, or anyone else on this screen, okay? You would have always seen one of these people. You would have never seen any of the Rothschilds in here. You would have never seen any of the Black Sun people in here. No one, even the controllers of what we thought were controllers over the Black Eagle Trust, the Mr. Cottrell's out there, all of these people would have never been seen in this section. You may have seen their name in this section, but again, without access to screen 3, you got nothing, okay? Screen 3 right here is what translates money from the backside system to the front side system. This gives you your history of funds.
Okay.
And any other information, allocation numbers, quotas, which are projects, okay, what existed on screen 3.
I feel like maybe this is just word salad, so you sound important, because none of this means anything to anybody.
So all these people that are talking about making a quantum system, you still have to connect to the backside system, and you still have to give an allocation number. It doesn't matter if it's cryptocurrency or it's anything else that is going to actually be supported by a government or a head of state. You have to have this information. Without this information, taking money out of the system, and this is for other people that might be listening, your Prometheus system, your Westland New Zealand system, your system in Norway, your system in Russia will never, ever function without all of this information, and it can only be given by the backside system. Okay, moving on. Screen 4 is indexing algorithms. It's not shown to the average everyday person logging in. Now, this talks about one single code. Okay, we're only talking about an access code, and a drawing right is what used to be issued, okay, to the family members. So they would have never had access to how is the money generated, how are the assets placed.
Look, if you guys aren't keeping up already, you're going to be lost the rest of the show. Okay, this is some pretty basic 1, 2, 3, 4 shit right here. Wait till we get to level 9. She said there's a dragon that lives there.
Assets coordinate with what type of funding, okay? And this is every currency in the world, including RMB, okay? All of them are listed here. All their indexing is right here. And screen 5 would have been your transfer screen, okay? So you would have logged in here. You would have entered your access code, your drawing right, and then all this information would have automatically been downloaded to either a level 6 or a level 3 institution, and I'll explain to you what those are. So level 6 here, this screen 6, okay, it used to be where all of the Fed bankers, okay, so if you work for the federal,
now we're seeing,
not just a U.S. problem, it is a global issue. You would have had your PIN code and everything registered right here in the backside system, which would have then coordinated with the front side system. This section right here is no longer doing that. What it's doing now is it's actually an outgoing transfer screen. So it issues all of the Fed banker codes. Okay, here we go with codes again. Okay, so you had one code to get in, and then you had your Fed banker codes for clearing in the front side system. This is what allowed you to function as a Federal Reserve banker, whether you're in Hong Kong, China, or anywhere else. This is where you would sit, okay? Next, level 7. What is a level 7? If
we're on to 7.
Around in these circles for a while, you would have heard a lot of the family members complaining they need a level 7 banker. Okay. Now, level 7s would also have a coding system as well, another code. Okay. Now, this section only has in it anymore what I put in there, and it's the same thing with level 6. Okay. All the people that were in there before are gone. This is what I was trying to explain to everyone. All of the level 7 bankers, you would have seen the Wangs, you would have seen the Woos.
Oh, I've seen quite a few Wangs and Woos.
In here, you would have seen Rothschild. Some of the names.
None, no Wangs and no Woos of a child. No, I don't like where you're going now.
Rockefeller people in here. You would have seen the Clintons in this section. You would have
A Penelope-per? Never even heard of that.
in here. You would have seen Rothschild, some of the names in Rothschild. You would have seen some Rockefeller people in here. You would have seen the Clintons in this section. You would have seen a number of people that would have had level 7 or family codes. Okay. Level 8 would have been the BIS or Rothschild clearing codes. Okay.
Oh, okay.
This section is completely
That's the Rothschild clearing codes.
code in there that is transaction specific. Okay. Then you have control and command on the backside system. What does control and command consist of? Section number 1.
Oh no, what just happened?
One in control and command is the financial system.
Space music started
All
playing.
financial platforms, both front and back. Okay. Control and command. That's 9.
Okay.
Section number 2 is control and command of intelligence and military systems. Section number 3, telecommunications. So this is access codes to the base platforms of the world, okay? Plus, it also has several subsectors in here that control different aspects of different.
This is how quantum financial works.
4, internet
Okay.
and indexing.
Yeah, you don't do quantum. You don't do quantum accounting. Come on now.
All banking indexing systems would be connected in here and also into here. Okay.
This is the algorithm they use to figure out what your phone number is when they want to offer you an extended warranty on your car from 2010. I can cover that. How many miles?
All right. So let's discuss the next couple sections. So all internet, okay? Every internet node on the planet is connected to control and command in the backside system. The base platform for every internet program exists there. So when you're going to build a new Google, or you're going to build a Safari, or you're going to build a new internet node, or you're going to build anything, it all has to have the base system in order to function, because that's what ties it all together. Okay. So telecommunications, AT&T, Spectrum, cable companies, T-Mobile, all of these companies exist on this base platform right here. Okay. Stargate. This is very interesting. For those of you that understand a little bit more than others, you would have understood that we had connection and gates that led us to other places. This is the connection to open and close stargates as it relates to this subsector in this galaxy.
That makes sense. I could see that happening.
It allows for us to have holographic and communications to other places. It also allows for certain aspects of communications here. It would have also at one point in time been connected to the Gatekeeper program, which we'll go over with you when we hit the front side system. And all of those things are no longer active, okay? So right now these are dormant. I can still use StarNet to make phone calls other places. And there are sometimes it's requested for others to make communications, such as the meeting we discussed, where we talked about the Space Force having a meeting in town here not that long ago. They had to, they were requested to open this up for a time being so they could have a communication with some of the higher ups as it relates to them. Okay. Next, brainwave and MK Ultra technology. Okay. So, Okay, so the system at one point in time, now this has not been functioning since February of 2016. It's one of the original things I shut off. This would actually intercept your thought process.
Okay.
So it uses the life source energy to have a direct communication to the neurological system in your brain, so to speak, and it could.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. This cuts off your light sauce. If you don't have your light sauce, then you'll never find the heavy sauce, which is code for quantum money.
Change your thought patterns, your thought processes. It could make you a serial killer when yesterday you weren't. It could give you
Whoa, now.
all these kinds of thoughts.
I don't even eat cereal.
Anything it wanted to implant into head, either a single person or in mass. Okay, that does not work anymore, just so you know. So then you have ultimate control and command, section 9, and section 8 would have had ultimate control and command over the family systems. Okay.
Oh, the family systems.
System 9 communicated directly with control and command on the bottom side of the system. Okay. White screen. You've heard people talk about the silver screen, the white screen at some point in time. You might have heard these things. And then the black screen. This one back here always controlled this one. I know the black screen doesn't think it did, but it always had full control over who would actually even be able to touch the screen in the first place. So it had control over your access codes, your key codes, and they were all issued by the backside system. So you've heard all these people saying we're just waiting for codes from the elders. That is never going to happen because even the elders can't get their own codes right now. Okay? So I don't know who's talking all of this stuff, but I'll explain to you why they think this way. Okay? So now let's talk about the front side banking system. Okay? Now that we understand somewhat of the control that the back system actually has. Now I had to learn all of this and all the programming and how it was different and how all of these pieces of the puzzle fit together over the last 4 years, okay? It's not been that long of a period of time.
My name is Jack Rackham.
And I'm really trying my best to understand everything that they put in our way, and they're constantly adding new things in the front system that get in our way, okay? So I'm going to leave the backside system here just for illustration purposes. Now let's talk about the front, okay? We already discussed 9 is control.
Just be glad I didn't put on Kimberly, Kim Crotchitch, or what her name is. Cuntitch. Kim Cuntitch, the one who's been working for Trump for 6 years and no one knew it, not even Trump, until the other day.
And command, which was run by the Black Sun. Okay? So remember, Black Sun was security for Rothschild, right? So they would have been in charge of the front side banking system.
Oh.
So,
Oh, we're back to a pentagram. I'm sorry, I missed something.
2, 3, 4, 5. For those of you that know a little bit about quantum physics, you'll understand that this is Tesla's triangle, right? 7 and 8. Okay. Now, you've often heard the term, if you've been in this business for a long period of time, you see 3 keys in the Vatican, you see the number 3 appearing a lot, okay? It was 2 keys to get out, money out, and 2 keys to get in, and 3 keys to get out. The third key was always control and command on the backside system, okay? That was never...
By the way, that's not Tesla's triangle.
Never a family member. There's no dragon people up there. There's only the 3 in the middle of that big chart that Tank has been showing you. So, okay, let's go to section 1. Your bank account. Okay. This is where you...
Tesla's triangle is usually shown as, a lot of people believe, it was found in one of his books, it was a drawing of his. Lots of people believe it relates to different things, different theories, the key to the universe, just a bunch of weird conspiracies, but it usually looks more like this. Like it's technically 3 triangles within the thing. Or if it doesn't look like that, it'll look like, here's the one that shows the full 3 triangles. Open image in a new tab. Here's the 3 triangles within. There's 1, I keep grabbing the same one. There's 2, and there's red ones 3. There's actually 4 triangles here, but still, this is Tesla's triangle. This is a Star of David, or a pentagram.
Your money lives here. Okay, and there's 1A, 1B, 1C, and 1D, but nonetheless, level 1. This is you. Okay, level 2, the NSA and Nine Eyes.
The NSA and Nine Eyes. She reminds me of Ann Vandersteel.
Okay, this is your GCHQ. And I'm just talking the financial system here.
That's right. Her uncle Nick Cola.
This is how the financial system functions. Okay, level 3.
That's one good thing that Dole gave us was Nick Cola. Uncle Nick Cola.
Also known as the VTX system that Cobra talks about a lot on his website.
The VTX is video transmitter.
In the past, this would have been completely controlled by the CIA. Right here, this VTX system up here. That's your bank back office, which also predominantly are CIA. And this is the second half of the banking system on the front, which completes the federal dual system. Okay. Now, we have level 4. This is where you'll find Oracle systems.
What? I mean, I understand completely.
Who else would you have in there? Anyone who makes a banking system in the planet Earth is in here. Okay, so the SIP system, you guys all talk about how SIPs is going to save the day. That's also registered in there. Everybody's got a back door to all your stuff. Okay, so that's what is located in Section 4. These are all the back doors that are given to all of these companies when they decide to create a new financial software. Level 5.
She also promised all her followers $30,000 at one time. I'm pretty sure that was her.
GCHQ. And a few other military systems. Now, they were the guardians, purportedly, right, of the financial system. The Pentagon head office for this would have been in Berlin. Now, does that answer your question? We all know that the Black Sun originated predominantly in the area known as Germany today. So that's why the Pentagon office in Berlin was actually the firewall for the financial system. Okay. Okay.
Makes sense.
Level 6, the Federal Reserve. This encompasses your 12 plus 1.
Is that a handwriting match to the Zodiac Killer?
Of the Fed.
Her and Ted Cruz did it together?
Of course, your banking family control, your banksters, as you call them. Okay, that's where they reside in the system. Level 7. Okay, family bankers. So all of the codes, these are your controllers. Remember, you probably heard me talk about the fact that the Clintons control Citibank, the Lee's family controls Wells Fargo. This is why. It's because you had to have the family code here. Now, this is directly downloaded from the backside system, level 7 to level 7. Without any registration in the back system, it will not recognize any of these people. Okay? Level 8. This is BIS, IMF, World Bank, UN.
What?
So you hear these people talking about the UN, so on and so forth, and all these exciting people on the internet, and how the IMF and Christine Lagarde is going to release the RB. Absolutely not true, and let me explain to you why. Okay? If you are a level 8, you must
Because they're on the corner.
fund the function. Period, end of story. You must have a complete cycle, a 9. Okay? So them without you, they are nothing. You understand? Okay. If you are a level 7, you must have a level 2 to communicate with and to enter an access code and a remuneration code. Okay? All of which are given to you by the back system. So the NSA, Nine Eyes, GCHQ needed to have a signatory to make them function in the system. Okay? Without these people can't do a gosh darn thing. Federal Reserve needs a level 3. Okay? So the CIA BTX system was directly connected to the Federal Reserve. It's nice that the Federal Reserve has an access
Wow.
code.
I'm sure you can prove that, right?
Okay, that's great. However, without your data code and access code, you have nothing. Okay, so these people need these people just as much as these people need these people. Now, level 3 in the front banking system would be all of your tier 1 institutions. Tier 1 institutions would be central banks, the United States Treasury Department. It would be the Central Bank of Russia. It would be the Bank of England. All of you fit in a level 3 section. And yes, just in case you didn't know, you're either MI6, Mossad, or the CIA in the back.
What?
Okay.
I feel like I would know that.
All the computer systems. A level 5, GCHQ, although they thought that they were the complete and total firewall, no, you couldn't actually do anything in the front.
All right, let's see if we can get a little more. I think we need at least a little bit more thorough explanation of who she is. Let's see. She's right here. Here you go. You know this guy. I feel like what she's doing now is kind of elementary. We need the in-depth course. By the way, that's how you spell her name. Gogun. Kimberly Gogun. Come on, load. I have to open another one. And that one's playing, so screw this one. Here we go. I'm with Big Daddy Charlie.
Hi, it's Justin, and I hope you're enjoying my dad's videos.
And clearly it's an older video because Justin's here.
And subscribe and turn on post notifications so you get notified for all my dad's new videos. My social media will be tagged down below so you can follow it. And just remember, Jesus loves you.
Hi guys, just to let you know, we've got a brand new website, drcharlieward.com, where all our videos will be loaded over the next few weeks, and you'll be able to view all of those there's no charge for watching any of those. We've moved them all onto our own platform because all the doctor ones, which are very, very important, have been taken down, so we've now got control over those, but every single video we post will be free to watch. That's very important for you to know. The other thing is we're getting an awful lot of people asking us about gold and silver.
Are you?
And I've always been an advocate of gold and silver, and myself, I'm not in a position to give financial advice. I'm not qualified to do so. I'm just going to tell you what I've personally done. I've personally bought gold and silver, and I've used a company that I trust, which is shown below here. They've always looked after me well. And if you order from them more than £250 worth, you get a free 1 ounce silver coin, which is very, very nice.
Oh, awesome.
This is not an endorsement. This is just what I have done personally.
Sounds like an endorsement.
As I said, I'm not qualified to give the advice, financial advice, but it's just what I have done personally. And I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy watching all of my videos. Thank you. So, welcome anyway, Kim. Great to see you again.
Great to see you again.
Yeah. So, I'd love for you to describe the basic history of where we come from, because I loved that. I thought that was so constructive.
How much time do you have?
Sorry?
I said, how much time do you have?
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah.
kind of want to point me into the right direction of the questions, I guess, as far as like the basic history of where we come from.
Yeah.
Are you referring to the financial system, like where we were, where we are specifically?
That's good. That's good.
Okay.
And then we can go together through where we're going, and see if we can get a clearer picture.
Okay. Well, you had a multi-level control system that was put in place. Okay, we know about that. We all hear about the deep state now because that's become mainstream, and the cabal, which has also become mainstream, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, you've got alternative media views as to who they are.
Yeah.
So you always have good guys and bad guys in everybody's view.
Yeah.
Well, when I started this journey, I also thought, just for the record, that the Chinese dragon families were the good people.
Okay.
And then there was a whole other side that were the bad people. Until I started meeting, going around the world and meeting with these people. And I realized that that was really not the case. And so they were always waiting. One thing I did notice is that in some of the meetings that I had, they were always waiting for an answer from someone else. So it was then that I kind of figured out that they were not in control. And then I also figured out that all the dragons were not Chinese. So who were they waiting for an answer from? So the further I dug and the further I got behind it, there's about 2 or 3, maybe 4 layers above their head. So then I got to listen to those people for a period of about 2 years, maybe 3, or those folks, I should say, and figured out exactly what their plans were and what it is they were trying to do. So that began my journey into what the real financial system actually was.
Oh, okay. So she figured it out. She's a detective of sorts.
There's many differing opinions of how I got the job, and I honestly have listened to them all. But the only thing I can tell you for sure is that I definitely know about the backside of the system. I definitely know that I've learned over the last few years how to run it. And I definitely am aware of all that's connected to it, because it's not just financial. There's about 8 different layers of control systems that are all dictated by the back system. So we do have a lot of the same opinions. In other words, I do agree with you 100% that there has to be a level of accountability. And the accountability here that you discuss is obviously a gold-backed system, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm in 100% agreement with you that you can't just keep printing money all over the place without no level of accountability to the governments of the world, the people of the world. So throughout history, even back in the days where the Templars were issuing receipts, right? As people would travel, you would leave your gold at one port, and then you would pick it up gold at another port with your receipt, right? That was the beginning of money around the world. So at least there was a level of accountability. Mm-hmm. And that's what I guess you would say the deep state has gotten away from is, it's accountability on multiple levels, right, Charlie? I mean, we have accountability financially. We have accountability for the amount of deaths that they cause, right? The destruction, the wars, now we have weaponized viruses coming out here and there, probably more from what I hear, if we don't fix the problem. So, there's a whole plan that they have in place. And to my knowledge, most of the plans that they're executing on now have all come from Project Looking Glass. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where we sit today.
Yeah, no, I agree with, again, most of what you said there. The only part, I've known the family that you refer to in China for nearly 15 years now and worked with them very closely. The interesting part when we go with my wife to Hong Kong, they take us immediately out for food, but I've never met the main man. I've met his wife and his daughter, and his daughter happens to be married to one of my very good friends. But as with every family, you get good and bad in the whole family. And one thing that's become very, very clear to me with China and with the Dragon family in general is the roots of the family is Himalayan, and they all look to their elders. And the elders are very, very quiet, humble people. There was some of the family that were in the CCP. The CCP has been dismantled now by Xi under the guidance of Trump, and he's now building a republic, which has made most of the elders incredibly happy. But as with any family, you've always got some that are happy and some that are sad, because some like one side and some like the other. We haven't all got the perfect family, and I'm one of those. My daughter thinks I'm nuts, but I go with that. I'm quite happy with that. But this is part of life, and yet Justin thinks I'm wonderful, and he thinks I know everything. So look, in this situation, the part of the family that I know are very, very much in favour of the removal of the CCP. The CCP have invested something like 4.5 billion in Biden. So they're desperate. They're very closely tied to the Democratic Party. They're part of the deep state. They're very closely linked with all the cabals, and of course that's what they're trying to get rid of. But it's a bit like pulling the root of a tree out, the trunk out. The trunk's already gone, but there's roots everywhere, and it's pulling them all out one by one so they don't start growing again.
We're pulling the roots out one by one, guys.
That we're going through right now. But I know that the people that I talk to in China are quietly excited, because they never get overexcited at anything. Bless them. That's why I love them. They're very, very calm and level.
Frog, this is my show. You give a fuck what you think about me in the corner. You can kick rocks, brother.
Very humble. And the bigger they get, the bigger ones that I've met that are even more humble. They're wonderful people. But I know when Trump points at China, he's referring to the CCP, they're also trying to infiltrate Canada at the moment and cause mayhem there.
Canada.
As with anybody, it's a bit like a boxer. And I speak to David Nino Rodriguez.
Oh, goddamn.
When you've beaten another boxer, he'll be throwing what they call haymakers, just trying to do some damage on his way out. And that's the story. The facts are they're on their way out right now, and they know it. And they're throwing haymakers. So we're living in a crazy time.
That's not how boxing works.
And I'm just sitting back.
When you lose at boxing, you're not declared the winner, and then you leave. You don't fight over. They raise someone else's glove and say the winner is. That's not when you start fighting again.
I'm watching the show. For me.
Well, unfortunately for me, I'm in it, and I can actually explain to you the story.
Your name is Frog, spelled AWG. Do you own a mirror?
Behind why these two parties don't get along,
Mhm.
if you like.
Hipster.
Okay. Now, the illustrious grandfather everybody talks about, but nobody can find, right?
Yep.
I knew this man.
Okay.
I have personally sat face to face with this person. And I can honestly tell you, he's not as benevolent as everybody makes him out to be.
Mhm.
Comments he made from his own lips to my ears sitting face to face was, "We are the slave masters and the slaves need to stay in line."
Mm.
I absolutely know for a fact Xi Jinping is one of their members of that side of the family, which is the
Easy.
which is
Hurston says he's a good guy now.
yes, 100%.
Okay.
The CCP was run by the Politburo, which is the Black Sun.
Yeah, that's right.
And since the expiration of the covenant in 2018, they have been in war with each other for control over China.
Yep.
So the operation you're discussing in Canada right now is being run by the Black Sun. COVID.
Oh.
Just wanted to blow Charlie Ward up.
Thank you very much, Bulldozer, for that $20. Balbozer. Thank you.
Black Dragon of China. I know him personally.
Okay.
He is a member of the Kuomintang,
Okay.
the Black Sun family, right? The Black Dragon, as you call them.
The
Black
Kuomintang.
Black Eagle Trust, Black Dragon, Black Sun. Okay.
Mhm.
Black Diamond, Black Oil, yeah, Black Energy. All right. So this guy here was definitely a part of the ruse
Mhm.
where the Mnuchin, who is also Black
Yep.
Sun, was selling bonds to BlackRock
Yep.
and Blackstone, and then they were being transferred over to China for leverage through him.
Mhm.
Well, as you may or may not know, the Opium Wars back in the day, that was all founded by the Black Sun.
Correct.
And George Bush Sr. was also on the board of the Black Sun globally,
Yep.
known as the Godfather, right?
Yep.
So there's a little bit of a discord going on with the Black Sun
Mhm.
as well, because everybody wants to be the head,
Yep.
right? And then, of course, you've got the Rothschild family and their Pindar selection process that's also going on at the same time.
Mhm.
Well, under the old agreement with the Solomon, line of Solomon, which are these families you describe, has the dragon families, not only of China, but also of UK, also of the Middle East, also of America, so on and so forth. You know, Clinton is obviously Blue Dragon, if you don't know. So these guys are all partners in with each other
Mhm.
globally. And they, the agreement between the covenant between supposedly God, right, at the time, and Solomon was that the family would reign for 3,000 years.
Okay.
And then the building of the second temple commenced,
Mhm.
which was
Oh, okay.
of December.
Apocalyptic. I got you.
2018 would have marked 3,000 years because that would have been Hanukkah,
Yep.
which celebrates the building of the second temple.
Mhm.
So now the line of Solomon is no longer reigning.
Mhm.
So what did the Black Sun decide to do? Because these were the demons that protected the treasures of Solomon.
Mhm.
So the Black Sun then decided that it was time for them to take over because they've always been doing all this work all this time anyway, so on and so forth, right?
Yep.
So that is where the fight between the CCP, the Politburo, which are your generals of the Black Sun, and the now administration of China. And I'm not calling anybody a good cop or a bad cop here, but I know the Savior program that they often run in various locations.
Mhm.
So I'm aware that there's a lot of turmoil between the two groups right now
Yeah.
in China and all over the world, actually.
I think one very important point to make there, Kim, as well, that when you've got a country like China, much the same as Russia, you actually
Mhm.
need a very strong leader in those countries.
Mm.
Certainly in
There
Europe,
you go.
having jellyfish leading us, and that's why we're in trouble. The same as Saddam Hussein, he kept Iran, Iraq, Syria, Libya under control because he was a tyrant. You can't have somebody like Boris Johnson, Theresa May, Emmanuel Macron, the German woman. You can't have people like that running those sort of places. You need somebody with an iron fist because otherwise you've got anarchy. And we're now seeing that in Iran, Iraq, Syria, and Libya because of the fact that there's not somebody strong, or there hasn't been somebody strong there. So I think it's quite important to point out, yes, with China, yeah, he can be a tyrant. I know that. I know his family. But boy, oh boy, you're talking about a country that it has, it's a huge country with 1.2 billion people. And if you had somebody that didn't have a backbone there, you'd be in absolute trouble, the same as in Russia.
I don't disagree with you at all. I've been both places
Yeah.
personally. Russia's a very strong country.
Yeah.
Both men and women are very strong.
Yeah.
I can say the same for China as well. Saddam Hussein, they used to call him Sammy.
Yep.
Because he went to school at Yale, very good friends with Bush Sr.
Yep.
Part of
Used to
the
call him
family.
Sammy. Okay.
By Sr. To rule over the Middle East, and the absolute chaos is coming in when he passed away the first time. Now Cheney's taken over, and they had different plans. I actually sat in a meeting about that one time, where they said that they were going to clean out the Middle East and plant a ghost flag.
Okay.
They basically said that they couldn't negotiate with these people. And so the ones that wouldn't leave, and then they talked about possible destinations for them all to live. And southern Russia was one of those locations where they could all be moved to. And if they didn't want to leave, then they would just kill the rest. That's what they said. Pelosi put
Okay.
a contract for Blackwater, on behalf of Blackwater, to the Pentagon to the tune of about $14 trillion.
Yeah, no, I know that.
Yeah.
It's but anyway, we're moving away from that, aren't we? We're moving on now.
I sure hope so, sir.
Well, the area that I've been working on, I was told about the global financial reset 6 years ago and then 2 years ago. Then at the end of last year, I was told they were going to reset the world's economy, collapse the world's economy, reset it, and they were going to revalue currency. That was what I was told last year. Now I'm starting to see hard proof of that in the fact that there's a lot of there's nothing it's not coming out on mainstream media at all. But the fact that the banks themselves, the central banks of the Bank of England, Deutsche Bank, Bank of Holland, Bank of Spain, were all closed for a period of time for COVID-19, and there's been a lot of things going on behind the scenes. And then you look at the fact that the Federal Reserve was backed into the Treasury for Judy Shelton to control. Now, she's obviously very, very much pro backing currency by gold. So all these little signs, when you put them together, they're tiny pieces in a puzzle, which make the picture an awful lot clearer. And then when you look at how the world was controlled financially with the three pillars, if you like, of the Federal Reserve, the Vatican, and the City of London, and the fact that they've all been collapsed. You know, the Vatican's empty, Buckingham Palace is empty, and the Federal Reserve is backed into the Treasury. Those sort of things, they help to put... Sorry?
Well, the Vatican was very active actually as of yesterday in the financial system. That's true. The other part is the Treasury has not taken over the Fed in any way, shape, or form. They're still running amok separately.
They're still attempting to, but it will take time. It's not something that happens overnight, from what I understand.
Well, you know, the Federal Reserve is the bank of all banks, right? So you've got the Fed here. If you're talking on this level, you've got the Fed here. Then you've got tier one banks.
Yeah.
So when they say the tier ones are going to go, that means your HSBCs, your Barclays, so on and so forth. And then underneath them, you would have your tier two banks, like maybe your Capital One and Compass Bank, maybe Santander Bank.
Yeah.
They could fall under level one or level two. So
Okay.
If you say the Fed is gone,
Level 1 or 2.
that the entire world's banking system is now controlled by the United States Treasury Department. I'm assuming you mean the Department of Treasury, not Treasury of USA, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That's how I...
Get that defunct corporation out of here, guys.
Well, Mnuchin is Black Sun.
Yep.
And he's running...
I just want to show you, this really doesn't have anything to do with it. We're not going to get any miraculous tidbits from her interview with Charlie. I just want to show you, she knows how to grift along with the best of them and hang in there.
He has told Trump flat out that he does not work for him. He works for people higher than
with
him.
her bullshit stories.
On the flip side of it, the Federal Reserve boards are still listening to, for example, the Li family and Xi Jinping in China. They are definitely in control of Wells Fargo, for sure. They're blocking codes and so on and so forth. And then you've got JP Morgan, which would be more, Bank of America would be more geared towards the Black Sun. So would JP Morgan in a lot of ways. Rockefeller family used to have the ultimate say as to what cleared and what didn't clear through them. You know, now in the UK, you would have MI6, which runs Barclays, right?
Yep.
On behalf of their master, which is the Black Sun. You would have Deutsche Bank, also Black Sun. Bush Sr. was very, very active in Deutsche Bank, proliferating the derivatives on behalf of Iran. That would also be considered a tier one bank, Bank of China. Hong Kong would be more run by the Black Sun. Mainland would be more run by the Dragon families, HSBC. You know, Hong Kong more run by the Black Sun. Mainland more run by the families.
You'd probably know more about the fact that the elders of China provide the liquidity for Deutsche Bank to keep them afloat a few years ago.
I'm familiar with the story.
Well, that's interesting.
Cash pallets. And I'm familiar with the Afghanistan opium money, if that's what you're asking me about.
I'm just aware that now the Chinese have control over Deutsche Bank. And if they wanted to pull the plug, they could very, very easily, from what I understand.
Well, in my talks in 2013 with the Black Dragon of China, he told me their intention was to take over the Bank of England and also the European Central Bank away from the Rothschild side, which is Xi Jinping and the Li family. So I'm aware of the program where they used to charge the 10% fee, you know, over there in Hong Kong. I'm aware that they not only paid off Deutsche Bank with illegal drug money, and they also paid off the U.S. budget for the last several months with the same drug money. So I'm aware of both of them.
When it comes to money laundering, they're the best, aren't they?
Well, the Black Sun invented money laundering, actually. Yeah, Soros is also part of the Black Sun. He's now got all of these companies. He's gotten away from Open Society Foundation and has gone to quantum real estate, quantum fund, quantum this, quantum that, in preparation for the launch of the quantum financial system.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your take on the fact that a lot of the banks in America have decided today to close for 2 weeks?
Which ones? Who closed for 2 weeks?
Again, I've been running
By the way, this is an older videos from 5 months ago.
I got a call. The first one, obviously based on time zone, was from Asia and also the Russian government, a GRU, which Black Sun, right? So all agencies are run by the Black Sun, let's be clear. So I had a talk with these two folks, and they basically told me that if you only know what's coming to Russia today, if you only know what's coming to China today, if you can answer this question correctly, then you will accept my leadership. So I responded back with, yes, I'm watching what is going on today. I said, the end of the day, this is never going to happen this way. Okay. So what they had basically done is they tried to use the Vatican Central Bank in cooperation with the Jesuits, and they negotiated with all of the countries, including the United States, that they would use their in-ground assets and resources to back a new financial system. Now, depending on how much of your resources you put in would be how much of a share you would have in the new rainbow currency or whatever they're calling it these days, right? Yeah. So the Federal Reserve was actually the one that tried to implement through the Fed system, the new currency, okay, new global currency. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the Vatican was handing out what they called level 9 access codes to all of the participating countries, telling them that it was going live soon. So you still have the Fed involved.
Oh, here it goes. It's going live soon.
Jesuits, right? Black Sun, Black Nobility, Black Pope. And so the Black Pope was handing out all of these access codes based on some Chinese lady they sat in a chair in Texas.
Let's see how they wrap this up. Damn it. Stupid bitch shoot. She gets more interesting. I just want you to see she can hang with Charlie Ward. She can make it up off the hip. He's asking her questions that she probably wasn't prepared for, and she can still hang with it. She's studied. This is a craft for her. This is a skill that she's honed. There you go, Dom. Come on. Thanks for joining us, Dominic Izzo. If you guys don't follow him, I was on his podcast. He's got a decent podcast. I like to listen to it before my show starts. The Rants of Izzo, is that what it's called? The YouTube channel? Damn it, show me the end of this fucking video, bitch shoot. This is why nobody uses you. Thank you. Thank you, Dom. Anyways, I guess we're not going to be able to see the end of that video. Well, maybe. Let it load for a second. Come on, work it through. Work it through.
Hi, it's Justin, and I hope you're enjoying my dad's videos. Make sure to share this video with your family and friends. Like and subscribe.
Here we go. Jump ahead.
I was doing my research that Obama's advice to Trump was, the only person that you need to be very careful of around you that you can't trust is General Flynn. And Putin's advice was exactly the opposite. You can't trust anybody around you apart from Flynn, which I find that very amusing because I know now, looking at it, which one I would choose to trust.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Obama is part of the Islamic Caliphate. It's called the Order of Assassins and Under the Black Sun. Yeah. So that's a fact, always has been. Susan Rice will still call him the current president of the United States. They all think he's still running the country.
If you're wondering, Will, did you just pick this lady out of a hat? Why are we covering her now? No, it actually has a tie back to something that happened on Liberty Warrior show yesterday. It was yesterday. No. It was the after stream from last night. A lady called in and said, "Hey, I met this lady in Colorado in the airport, and she was telling us this is how we get our NESARA GESARA money and sign up." And the only thing she said that was weird was that Trump wasn't actually on our side. He was just playing a role for the Black Sun Order or the Order of the Black Sun or some shit like that.
Homeland Security still talks to him all the time.
Damn it.
Kill me at least 3 or 4 times.
There he goes.
Don't get along at all. He hates me. I hate him. It's personal at this point. And in order to...
My goal is to be like Izzo and get an iHeartRadio show.
At the time that he would have been transitioning in, Obama would have still been Pindar.
Yeah.
And then that following October, after
it's going to be called
2017, it was Hillary.
Put Downs and Accordions.
So,
where I review pictures of you that you self-submitted, make jokes about you, and accordion music plays in the background, the old squeeze box.
Exactly. That's always a grey area, isn't it? But, yeah. Well, Kim, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, and we'll have to do this again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And thanks, Tank, for joining us.
Yes, sir. Thanks for listening in. I appreciate it.
No problem at all. Real pleasure.
Pleasure here too.
Cheers. All right, Skim wrapped it up. Let me show you something else. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this website. Maybe not. I used to use it occasionally, or a website kind of like it. Occasionally back when I worked in digital marketing, like social media marketing. And what it's called is Speak Project, or a digital drawing board or whatever, where you can lay out a project, a group project, in almost like storyboard format. And this is one of those. It's Kim Possible. Who is Kimberly A. Going? I imagine it as the sound effect for when you go boing, go going. I think that's what it is. AKA Kim Possible. Find out here. Now this is the double wishbone, double triangle, syndicate, illegal assets, pyramid of death scheme she let us know about. But there's all these other things that we can click on here. And you scroll on down, she has To the Heart of the Matter. And then there's memes. Let's see I haven't seen the memes. Can we go to the memes? What are the memes? Oh, these are all the little things. Who is Kim Possible? The world has gone through cycles where the light rules for 1,008 years, then the dark rules for 1,008 years and repeats. This cycle has gone on 9 times, so this is the last one. What happens during the next 6 days will decide the outcome of what rules for a brand new cycle. That being said, the aura of the people is very gray, and we have to pour as much light and levity into the world as possible over the next 6 days. Sounds dangerous. QMS and past events, all events, everything that you imagined, all these history is registered on the quantum mapping system. See, you guys knew we had quantum banking, quantum physics, quantum education, quantum health, quantums, quantum video, quantum social media, quantum reading, quantum books, quantum publishers, quantum computers, quantum calculators, quantum accountants, and now we have quantum maps. All of this is registered in the quantum mapping system. QMS has been around for thousands and thousands of years, and it records everything. Kim has shared many photographs of the legendary code books that are very legendary. Kim has shared many photographs of the legendary code books that are very legendary. Speak Project puts these out as they are received, including a photo of the Dragon film rings. There's a strict rule that the trust doesn't print anything anymore because it gets used against Kim and to try to steal from MWHT. Okay. Don't know what that means, but apparently the legendary code is very legendary. What else do we have here? Former trustee position officially ends and the trust is shut off from the hundreds of trustees. Mark Duke, that was the guy I read you earlier. The black code book that Neil Keenan talks about and tried to sell off is outdated. It is real and does exist. It went electronic, but the gold and platinum contained physically therein was moved. It was created before all assets were registered with the quantum mapping system. These are really shitty memes. What's a black dragon? A black dragon, North American head of the dragon family. Look out, the dragon family. You better look out. I didn't bring you over here to show you the memes. I just now found these, honestly. I didn't even know they had a thing that was memes. But I did bring you over here to show you some more of this website. So let me grab some more stuff. Let's start with this. Let's see if she gives any backstory. We haven't watched one of these. So this is another video. This says, this is a multi-series call where Tank explains in detail who is Kimberly A. Goigan, the unknown country, and the other various issues that she has taken place behind the scenes to protect the identity of the person. On the call with Tank, we edited the audio where necessary. So let's check out one of these. Little heartbeat to make it more elaborate.
Okay, so in the system you have something called the unknown country. Are you familiar with that?
Yep.
The Mana World Holding Trust is the unknown country.
Have you guys seen that old man in the meme that says, pecker on the wood, pecking on a pine, I see your pecker but you can't see mine?
So it is the source and the holder of the entire asset redemption program. It is where all of the assets on the planet have been registered. If you sound like you would know some people that have done contract work, and when they would do private contract work, they would receive work, they would get an account number, and they would keep their own ledger, and they would put the amount they received for that job.
Those accounts are all kept on the back ledger.
Any contract work done, the individuals doing the contract work would take the account number that was given to them by some clandestine character, and
basically what they're trying to prove here is there was I know I haven't explained it the best so far, but we're getting into it, and I like a little fucking theatrics, okay? They're trying to explain the original banking system, boom, 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 it makes an upside down triangle. The quantum banking system, boom, 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 makes a right side up triangle. That was the thing she was drawing earlier. She is actually supposed to be the leader of the cabal, but instead, she's on her light cycle. You know how ladies sometimes have their cycles link up? They'll coincide with each other if they stay around each other long enough. It makes for a hell of a month if you live with multiple women. Trust me. That's how her light cycle linked up. And she's returning the cabal and the money back to the people. We're going to get into, I don't know if you guys remember Rice TV, who did that one show with us where we did Rice and Pimpy and Tony and everybody was on it. We're gonna get into a video. He's probably done the most in-depth videos that I've seen of anybody. I will show you the old pecker man.
And an amount that would
pecker on a wood, pecker on a pine. See your pecker, but you can't see mine.
All those accounts were shut off, and no one has accessed them since. They were shut off because every asset on the planet was registered into the unknown country. In 2012, the contracts for that expired. When all those contracts expired, the ownership of that trust transferred over to the one individual on the planet with whose DNA matched the signature that would allow that to open.
Okay. So there was a trust that contained basically all the money of the deep state cabal, blah, blah, blah. When that person who ran that trust died, it all transferred over to the person who had a DNA that their signature would open the trust and allow the signature to go through.
And that was Kimberly Ann Gogan.
You notice they don't put a whole lot of thought into the details that make anything make sense.
And
they're big picture people.
Kimberly Ann Gogan.
I didn't even know that was going to say big picture, but I just said they're big picture people, and then it says big picture. Signatures have necessary meaning. Snow White, Godfather III, Q. That's the first one. He said Kimberly Gogan right at the end. I was talking. Let's watch another one.
Kimberly Ann Gogan. Kimberly Ann Gogan has blue sky clearance. If you're familiar with clearance levels.
Blue sky clearance.
Okay. She also has the highest level Homeland.
By the way, blue sky clearance, not a clearance.
Security clearance on the planet. She also has her own, within the trust is every major trust for every major bank in the world, and this is the entire off-ledger system. So currently, the face of the banks are still somewhat...
By the way, if he's saying that this is the off-ledger balances, this would be money that people are hiding. This wouldn't be like your money or my money that's in the regular bank or what's told to federal law enforcement or reported or blah, blah, blah. He's talking about deep state, unlaundered, deep, dark, secret money that no one knows about.
I say loosely under control because everything that they have tried for the past 7 years has failed miserably.
Blue Sky is not it's not a security clearance. The only thing I can think of that has Blue Sky is Blue Sky restriction or Blue Sky law, and it regulates the sale of securities to protect the public from fraud. It's actually a pretty in-depth law about the Blue Sky laws is what it's called. They're state-level anti-fraud regulations, basically.
They have tried to hack the trust hundreds of thousands of times, nonstop, every day, in some way, shape, or form.
Uh-oh. Thank you, Jay.
Will, continue to dumb it down for me. Please and thank you. Hugging face.
Yeah. No problem. I was trying to just let it go to see how far we could go with and try to pick up on what we could, but I'm trying to explain it now. She is apparently in charge of all the off-book secret money, and all that money is it belongs to the deep state, the cabal, because she's now the head of the cabal. They want it back. They want her money. This is the reason the cabal has no deep state money to do deep state things with. And she has legendary photographs, and they are legendary.
Every single time that they said there was going to be a currency revaluation, they always tried to hack the trust to bring down assets. They've never made it past the first firewall. So that is the system that she controls.
Thank you, Jay Hyde Ashbury.
Currently, after, just in the past year, I've been part of billions of dollars of transfers that has exposed the entire banking system. We literally have it on film from the transfer room when Bank of America, we transferred $180 million in, and they sat there trying to figure out and concoct how they were going to steal the money. I've watched them do this several times. I've had money confirmed in our accounts, and then just to have them try to steal it. They cannot steal it. Kim just pulls it back. They don't have the ability to steal from her.
David Nino really bothers me when he's like, you can just send, 50 cents, $1, just a D-rod, 1977 at, and then he's like, sorry guys, a little loud in the background. They're using a jackhammer to build me a new bathroom. It's the upstairs off kitchen pantry guest spectacular bathroom I always wanted.
But because the face of the banks have been controlled by this nefarious cartel of bankers, and also they have MS-13/Blackwater/ whatever they're called now, mercenaries that are implanted in a lot of these banks. They're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure the money does not get to the people. Our sole mission and purpose is, as of 2012, they were given a 5-year extension. In 2017, the trust switched over to...
Holy shit, that was a big one there. Inbound.
Thanks, Will. Keep it funny.
Mariah, somebody's tearing down the fucking laundry room door. Thank you very much, Brian Tucker. Thank you. That's a $100 tip. I appreciate it. I don't know what was just going on, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Disbursement mode. They had until 2012 to basically turn the world into a one world government.
Oh, Ollie ran into it.
Launching a genocidal agenda of some sort. And by 2017, they completely failed. They were given a 5-year extension.
Oh, one more thing I meant to talk about earlier. I went through one video of a channel. I could only go through the first 30 minutes of a video. I should have done this earlier before we got into this. There's a channel that we believe is constantly reporting my channel and getting me knocked off. So I could only make it. They had a 2-hour video up, and I went through the first 30 minutes of their video. At 11 minutes in, they claim the vaccine is not real and it will kill you. At 14 minutes and 5 seconds, they claim that the president, the vice president, and half the members of Congress are all clones. They're not real and do not exist and have no authority. At 16 minutes and 20 seconds, they claim that CNN hired people to do the January 6th shit, and that there were less than 10% of the people there were actual Trump supporters. The rest of them were CNN employees. At 16:50, they claim that the Ashley Babbitt death is fake, that she had a blood pump in her backpack, that they gave her something in her mouth to chew on, like a ketchup packet that squirt blood out her mouth, and she is still alive and well, and they have both seen her. And at 21:20, the first 30 minutes, at 21:20, they named 17 members of current and former politicians who are now cannibals and have died of Kuru. But that was just the first 30 minutes. Thank God they got me out of there. I'm a danger to society.
Since 2017, the trust has been in disbursement mode, and she has overcome most of the major world obstacles in that time. So now, the way the current system is that all of the backdoor...
Oh, shit. Is it donation day?
Thank you for your service. Love your show.
I appreciate it. BB72 with a $20 tip. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Some of the most tips we've had in a while. Thank you, guys. Maybe we should do the backup channel more often. I'll pull one of those Scott McKays and start telling people when my channel goes down, I get $30,000 in donations. Thank you. Appreciate it.
They can no longer siphon money off from anyone. They were siphoning off from every credit card transaction to every major transfer to just taking people's life savings. And for a long time, they would leave up mirrors. You know, in the Wells Fargo system, all types of people had SKRs.
Well, the first violation of terms and service was at 11 minutes, but the first 8 minutes were them greeting the audience.
They were sitting there in mirrors, and they were never able to move them because they weren't real. Because the real asset that backed them was
Tuscaloosa, Alabama in the house.
Regular people.
Hey.
All of that has been shut down, that they can't do that anymore. The only thing left is the actual face of the bank. When a transfer comes into an account, there's still, an operation that goes on at the banking level.
Okay, so she is primary target for the cabal. She's been able to survive. She is she inherited this, but she's on a light cycle instead of a dark cycle. She promises her followers money, and let's see how that worked out for her. Give me just a second.
I gotta find one of these older ones. Give me just a second.
I guess you guys know who Rice TV is, right? That he was that's from 4 months ago, 6 months ago. Oh, by the way, at one time she was awarded interim head of the state, in case you guys were curious,
of the sovereignty. And this week marks the 3rd anniversary of the sovereignty letter issued to Mr. Trump on January the 27th. Now, much has passed since then, and things did not improve, only got much worse, particularly since last March. How different things would it be if that document was implemented? The deep state and their financial armies rendered mute, Crown agents and the Rothschilds also, plus the added bonus of deleting all income tax on wages for all Americans.
Charlie Ward's going to be mad. He was supposed to be head of state, wasn't he?
Was bypassed.
Vice president, something?
To the day, another letter proclaiming much from the same trustee. One ponders how much this letter will actually deliver beyond the sensational style rhetoric. Real actionable events are required now. Words have long since passed their sell-by date and useful date. So this came out last week, January the 21st, for immediate release from the Office of the Interim Head of State, announcing the ratification of Kimberly Ann Goguin as the interim head of state.
The ratification of Kimberly Ann Goguin as the interim government global intelligence head of state.
Until such time as peace is
I don't know what you guys don't understand.
During the time of interim government, Global Intelligence Agency, GIA, serves as the intelligence agency to the head of state until each government can form its own structures for protection and security of the land. An eviction notice has been duly served upon all those occupying the offices of the United States government, all in capital letters, meaning it's fake, past, present and future, real, presumed, self-appointed or elected to vacate government and government-related offices, both physical and occupational, on or before the 31st of this month. This eviction is enforced by the Global Enforcement Unit under
Anyways, clearly that's not true. That's just some very strange claim of a guy on his cell phone. We also have this one that I wanted to show. Is this it? This is an update from her little group she runs called Life Force, where, of course, she is interim head of the offices of the chairman of the people of the cabal and the free people non-enslaved of the United States of the world, alien force humanity, something like that. And this is where she claims she cured a very relevant pandemic disease.
We own White House insider from the Life Force, Mr. Thomas Melville. How are you, sir?
I'm well. I'm well. Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here every Sunday. Last week I wasn't here, and I apologize.
I will give one shout out to Chahurston. Chahurston slings products like nobody else. She is already independently wealthy, I believe, just from book deals and decorating and interior design, but she doesn't take donations.
It was a real hectic Sunday for me. Generals, the White House kept me on hold for a while. I was trying to get updates on a lot of things that we're doing. And it was frustrating, dealing with what I was dealing with last Sunday, and I would have
the Life Force is a whole different thing. They claim that they work in between the intergalactic. They claim that they work in between the intergalactic alien spirit force animals and the federal or the world government. Because they believe that it's all a world government, not like a country by country. They work in between, and they speak with presidents and generals and aliens and alien generals and alien presidents, and that's what he's giving an update on.
Anyway, all right. So I wanted to give you an update real quick. All right. So I have the unique ability or the unique. I am in a unique situation where I am involved with many officials around the world, and especially in the U.S. I talk to many of them. I'm going to tell you that the assemblies and everything you people are working on with regards to Life Force is working. I get calls from many individuals saying, what is this? How can we help? How can we get involved? And it's from top tier officials from the different divisions and departments in Washington that are recognizing the good that everyone is doing. And I just wanted to congratulate you all because it is working. I think you should stay strong, keep focused, and move and do what you do because it is all working. I know it for a fact. And I'm very proud to be part of the Life Force initiative. All right. The only of the what I wanted to talk about was banking as well this week and last week. We know that the banks are struggling. They are preparing a sit down. They have been sitting down for the last week and a half, trying to reorganize the books, trying to figure out a way to get past the log jam of what they're trying to do with the Fed and with money supplies, and this is exactly why nobody's been able to come up with a new stimulus package for everyone because they're stuck in a loop, literally. There's no way they can get past what Kim has explained yesterday. And by the way, what she explained, and I highly recommend that you guys just go and look at that video because this is the life that I've been living and Kim has been living and Tank and all of us for a very, very long time.
Oh, no.
And trying to get this type of information out.
He's part of Life Force, which is one of the groups that she's the head of. He just mentioned her and Tank. Tank was the guy whose website we were on earlier. So you see up here, Kim Possible, Tank's post, blah, blah, blah. He's part of the Speak Project group. This guy's part of the Life Project group. She claims that she's head of all these different groups, and they all believe her. So
to individuals, so that they understand, they do their own research and find find the solutions to everything. I consider myself a person, I find solutions to any problems and I fix them. I don't run away from a problem. I work towards the problem and fix it, because sometimes that's what you need to do. Okay. I highly recommend that you download yesterday's video, and I know Kim is going to mention a little more about it. We spoke this morning. I think you'll learn a lot. You will be very, very shocked at the things that the Fed can't do these days because of how they operated in the past, and their unwillingness to come forward and to sign a new contract with Kim and to admit any failures. And you can't admit failures in your life, and that's where you go down. You can't fix those problems, right? When you can't admit that you're having a problem.
That's a great point.
So yeah, that's her kind of nickname is Kim Possible. They keep calling it. Oh, here's Tank. They keep calling it that. Her real name's Kimberly Gogan. This is when she claimed she cured COVID. I'm going to show you a video in a second where she claims she's going to give everybody $3,300. Everybody that has in the world that has a bank account.
That is the problem too. They don't even have money. That part of the reason why they can't do a budget. They don't have money, and they're too proud to just learn how they can bring it in without destroying and killing off everybody.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
So that's the issue that these bankers, that all the banks, the major banks, the tier 1 banks here in the U.S. and around the world have been dealing with, because they're trying to keep the veil of secrecy secret, and it is out. Everybody's waking up. Everybody knows. The more information you find out about the trust and about its abilities and Kim's abilities, and the fact that money is flowing around the world, and there are all ways to get it past their blockades. It's working. So I just wanted to say that get the bankers to come forward, to stop the nonsense, to come forward to fix the problem. Because without them coming forward and acknowledging and fixing the problem, we're never going to get past this point. Same thing with the officials. They need to come forward, fix the problem, and work together. I'm all about. I dedicated my life to be a communicator. Now I'm not very good on video, but I'm really good when it comes to person-to-person discussions. Blow it all away, because I know exactly what to do, what to say, and I know where we are. Okay. Anything else, Hank?
No, man.
And that's really about it. The White House, I'm hopeful that they are this week will get the messages that we've sent on the banking system, and it's the background of it and how it works with Kim's interpretation of it, which is wonderful. And so we are definitely looking to push forward. All banking, finance, we are ready to go. If these bankers and the banks choose not to work with us, we are prepared for any contingency. Should the banks go down, other things happen with the banking system, we are prepared.
We're prepared.
100%. So bring it. All right?
Here comes Kimberly herself.
I like it.
Here it is.
You have some exciting stuff to talk about. Okay, so as a follow-up to yesterday, first of all, there's been a lot of comments, both positive and negative, about what we discussed. It's meant to be the beginning and not the end of the education process for all of you. Some have asked if we're going to have this kind of information on UNC, maybe at some point in the future. We do have a series called Declassified, which is separate from the news, that we're going to bring out, and that's going to have interviews with all kinds of interesting people, people that have participated, some defectors from the order. We have a lot of explanations on what you would consider level 1 conspiracy theory is where we're going to kind of start. So what really happened with 9/11 as an example, what really happened with the bombings in Boston. Why were all these things orchestrated? And then we're going to kind of move it up after the first few episodes of that. We'll move it up to like conspiracy theory level 2, and then maybe 3 and 4. And then we can kind of start getting into some of the real serious issues, like some of the things that we were discussing yesterday, because by then the average everyday person might be ready for something like that, where this is all new to these people. We want to try to attract the masses. I think that's important. So we're going to kind of start one step at a time, as we go through the process here. Just wanted to kind of point out the fact that there was no manual to this system, and it was pointed out to me on a trip outside the country by some interesting folks after M kind of went into the coma the first time before he passed away. That was about 6 months before he passed away, actually, maybe a little longer.
Honestly, I'm thinking about live streaming during the EBS.
And nobody gave me a manual. They all kind of laughed about it, actually. Thought I'd never figure it out. I'm not a coder. I've never worked for IBM. I've never worked for Halliburton. I've not worked for any computer company. Although every company that I did build, I made sure that I knew how to do everything within that company. From installing the phone system to installing my server to make sure I knew how to fix it if it broke. And so that's just kind of me. I'm an extremely resourceful person, and there's obviously a job that has to get done here. So
wait,
I looked at it.
Kim, were you ever a hacker with a team from MIT? The data?
No.
Okay.
And I have no idea what a Virgo triad is. I still don't know, actually.
I just want to make sure we got that on record.
I am not a Virgo. I'm a Libra. I like long walks on the beach. I am a Libra, though. Yeah, I'm not a Virgo. I'm a Libra.
I'm sorry, but I can.
Maybe I'm part of the Libra triad. I don't know.
I can actually speak to that because I had to talk you off the cliff several times over the last 6 months to not say "fuck it, I'm done." Oh, screw it, I'm done. Right?
No swearing on Life Force call.
It was okay. It was appropriate. It was appropriate context.
Yeah. Well, if you've had the pleasure of talking to these New World Order folks in your life, you would probably have learned to weave a tapestry of profanity like I have. And I'm not proud of it, and I know it's not very ladylike, but Tom unfortunately gets the brunt of it a lot, as he reports some of the news coming from government people and whatnot, and what their plan is. I've handed them the entire solution to fix Hoover Dam that's leaking, right? And they go, no, we're going with the bubble gum. We're going to get the bubble gum on there. Bubba. Everybody chew. And I'm like, really? This happens constantly. So my frustration level, and I apologize, to you guys. I know it kind of came out a little bit in the meeting and what I was illustrating, but these people.
By the way, Virgo Triad is another person on YouTube here that did like Dinar, Sovereign Citizen, reevaluation stuff, and I'm pretty sure she got arrested for attempted murder. I'm pretty sure that's the same person. I'll have to look that up for a different show.
Can be some of the most frustrating people in the world, and to try to
tell me about it.
I am so impressed talking to all of you folks from Life Force every week. I think that you have come so far on your own and even further altogether than these people have come in hundreds of years. Okay, so going back to what we had done. So with the COVID-19, as you have noticed, there are less and less people actually reporting these horrible symptoms and all these things over the last few weeks. So what the geneticists had done is they've actually predominantly neutralized it at all those testing centers that we discussed a few weeks back. So they were selling it out of a place in Virginia, and they were sending it to all the testing centers so all the people would get COVID, right? They were putting them on the test themselves, on swabs. And that's not gone well. Now it's kind of not a thing anymore. We're kind of going through the motions. And so that's why Dr. Fauci is trying to increase that narrative of his, his bosses over there at Langley, great guys, love them, and their bosses over there at the Black Sun. So he's already ramping up with this bacteria thing on the food, right? Which we all knew was coming anyway. So what we did is we actually have something there. It's still there. It needs to still be there. It's going to still show on their tests that it's COVID and whatnot, and a variation of that. But what it actually is, it's a radiation-eating bacteria. So if you live in the United States, all of our produce that comes in from Mexico and other places in the world is given a radiation treatment purportedly to kill bacteria. Well, this will actually work in the opposite and actually make our food healthier now. So I'm really excited about that.
That is huge.
So she got a hold of all produce vendors around the world and got them to produce a radiation-eating bacteria and make sure that it put that on top of our produce that's imported from around the world.
Wait, hold up. Because Kim does this all the time. Okay, just pause for a second. Okay, because Kim will drop bombs on everybody, and I don't want you to miss what she just said. First, she's talking about a group of highly skilled biological geneticists who are able to actually do the opposite of make just biological weapons, but actually biological treatments that will help us, right? And first, if you paid attention, we identified that there was one company that was creating COVID-19 here in the US out of Virginia. We know this for a fact. We got this directly from one of the microbiologists there, okay? And then was distributed. The number one consumer of that was a place out of Boston that was, making these tests that amazingly people were testing positive for COVID-19 with, right? This naturally occurring virus that was also
importing it directly from Virginia.
Yeah. So, in other words, this whole sham is a fact. Was here being perpetuated from Virginia, right? Who knows where that could be from, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I know. No hiding anymore. Go ahead. Sorry.
Good point, Tom. Everybody knows. You pack of jackalopes. Stop trying to kill people off. What the hell's wrong with you? So this is happening. So instead of just
great save, by the way, Tank. No swear. Great save.
I'm working on it. Yeah.
Good save.
So instead of us just falling in and just accepting that we're your slaves, right, and that we should all die off, we also have the ability to fight back. So that's what Kim has done, is she's put something in place. So
I wouldn't say she's gone. I mean, everybody loses fans, gains fans, blah, blah, blah. She's not as prevalent right now, but she still has diehard fans that think that she's sending them money and blah, blah, blah. I'm going to show you that video next.
Hurt us is now working in our favor, for the record.
Used to hurt us. Now it's working in our favor.
Because there's already been something put in place, just FYI. And that also doesn't mean that we don't do something. That just means, in addition, we have support.
Just all the time she makes these weird claims like, I don't know if you guys know this, but all our produce is radiation treated to kill bacteria. Well, we were able to work with governments around the world to get that changed to a you, the life force leader and the alien galactical Battlestar group. Like what?
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kim.
Speaking of power and control, we had mass mutiny on Friday, didn't we, Tom?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So mass mutiny on Friday due to the fact that there was no money. Right now, all of the Langley people are fighting against the Black Sun people because they're not performing. They all feel like they're being lied to. So are the Pentagon people fighting against the Black Sun generals. And this has gone global. So as of this morning, I actually got a report from a general, a Russian general, that has basically said the Black Sun is dead to them. So now I don't know if they're actually dead, the guys that were at the top, or they're just trying to make a statement like, they're dead to me. We turned our back. And they're talking about how they want to move forward with us this week. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how this mass mutiny thing turns out. Did you hear anything more today, Tom, on them?
Well, yes, I did. But, I'm not going to really say anything because actions are louder than words. So I want to see what they do, and then once they prove it and come forward, because we've had several from different countries, generals, high level, call us, call me, call some of my friends to try to move forward. But actions speak louder. So we'll wait and see.
Can I recommend we implement a today protocol? Because they're always putting things off till, by Wednesday, by Tuesday, you know what? If you can't move today, I think you should implement the same thing and say, you're dead to me.
Right, that was her getting our radiation fixed on our fruits and vegetables, as well as curing COVID, because it was actually, as she claims, on the testing devices rather than the test being accurate. It was on the testing devices. This is where she claims that she's going to give everybody $3,300 as long as you have a bank account. And still claims to this day it's still coming, by the way. Here we go. Everyone with a bank account will soon receive $3,330 or the equivalent in your currency. Click the link below to learn more. I don't even think you had to sign up. I think you just had to be a living person. Here's the views just going up again and again is what they're showing. And she's got this dancing infinity of money. Weeks have passed, still no cash. This is from back in March 19th of 2021. Now that's kind of where I saw Rice TV pick it up, and I'm going to give him a lot of credit. These are some of his videos that we're fixing to watch. Rice TV. I think I've got a video that he did an interview that was probably, 8 months ago or so. Let me find his or his interview first. There's the 8 months ago one. I think that's the oldest one we need to look at. This is STF. Kim Gogan, Kim Possible interview. Create a whole new world. Let's check him out.
Reports about what's going on in your community, in your country, in the world.
Sorry, I had already watched some of this. Let's hear him out, see what he's got.
You have just tuned in for the latest.
By the way, be thinking about this, chat. Would you rather me do like we do now and only do donations, or find a sponsor and do donations when I don't have a sponsor, when I have a sponsor turn donations off, or do both? Or you never want to see sponsors? What? Let me know.
And fiction. And joining me as today's very special,
I've been thinking about trying to find a sponsor.
Gogoin, who some may know as Kim.
Something I believe in, not something fake, but still.
Before we get into it, if this just happens to be your first time ever watching any of my videos, I do encourage you to explore my channel. Make sure you're subscribed, smash that like button, and hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with my videos as they come out. I encourage everyone to check out my Patreon channel where I post up exclusive content. You get early access to videos. I'm doing monthly giveaways for patrons only, and most importantly, it's a way to support the channel directly. Be sure to follow my sister channel on Library where I post up extra content. Check out my audio podcast, Rice Radio, that is hosted on Anchor.fm. It's available on every major.
I think Rice kind of started a lot heavier with crypto and then kind of moved to the truther stuff because there's a lot of scams in crypto. So maybe that's how he started moving towards the truther movement stuff.
Podcasting platform at Rice Radio, and new episodes are coming weekly. And if you haven't heard, I recently partnered up with Money Metals Exchange. You can get a free half ounce of silver if you visit moneymetals.com. You're a first-time buyer, you purchase $100 or more, and you use the promo code RICE, R-I-C-E, you'll get a free half ounce of silver, and it's another way to support the channel as well. I'm going to have links down below for everything I just mentioned, as well as everything we talk about on today.
Hell, if I get a sponsor, I'll be lucky to get $3,000 on it. I might have to sell my sponsored spot for the next 3 years to get that much.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. That's her, and of course, Rice. Let's check out the interview.
Kim Gogoin, a.k.a. Kim Possible, and this is a conversation that I have been looking forward to very much. So, Kim, I appreciate you accepting the invitation to come on the show. How you doing today?
I honestly, talking about sponsors and donations and stuff, I honestly think when I get the VA stuff straightened out, that it'll be a lot less pressure. It won't matter. If we have extra money that comes in, we'll be able to put it into the channel. And if we don't, it won't really matter. We can still pay all the bills and stuff. I just got to get the fight with the VA over.
I'm doing excellent. And again, like I said, I'm really looking forward to this discussion and getting to know you. And normally when I introduce people, I kind of try my best to give a little bit of a background on people. And aside from the fact that you've been involved in finances and banking, most
Naaman loves men.
The rest is kind of a little bit hard for
me to
explain. So, in your words, who is Kimberly Gogoin?
As a person, or in this job?
As a person, and then ultimately, like what your role is right now.
Okay. As a person, in brief, I grew up in a pretty bad neighborhood, and what you would call in the States the project.
He's from the School of Hard Knocks.
And I worked my way out of there and into college for architecture. So my university degree is in architecture, not in banking. But I worked for a bank throughout college, and I started really liking banking. So I continued on in the banking world. And I've bought and sold 3 of my own companies.
Not to be confused with Mad Max Maddie from the School of Hard Fox. That's something different.
You know, it's not like I was not living a happy life before all this happened. Then a drastic change. I had a daughter. I have a daughter. A drastic change happened in 2007, which was the beginning of the end for the markets with the global market crash.
Yeah.
And behind the scenes, what happened in 2007 is the elite were cut off from the back system. So all sides of all covens, all of them were completely and totally cut off in one day. It was in March of 2007. After that, I was being hunted down pretty much like a dog from there on out.
I probably should have started with this video. She explains it in layman's terms here.
At the time, I mean, I was living a normal, you know, upper middle class life, you know, cars, nice house, child, single parent, and my own company. You know, I had no idea that what this whole thing was all about at that time.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, so what happened in 2007? Ultimately, you got introduced to a completely different world that took you down a very unique path that you probably wouldn't have chosen normally. And for anybody who's watching this who's not familiar, I'm going to have links down below for Speak Project's website, which has a section on Kim Possible that you could check out to get a little more information as well, which we'll dig into. And I'll have information for Life Force as well. I'm getting some information about you having your DNA being somewhat a 99.8% match to the mitochondrial Eve, which would be the one female that everybody can say that we're related to. And you're 99.8%.
She's a direct descendant of Eve.
That individual, that mitochondrial Eve. Not saying the Adam and Eve, but the mitochondrial DNA species that we have come upon. And Tank called you kind of an ambassador to humanity. Some people, you throw around the term savior.
No.
I know you don't like the term. I know you don't. But it's something about your DNA that you were selected to be an ambassador representative of humanity of some sorts. This is why I was trying to ask you in your words, who are you? Because I don't even know how to even put this out.
Well, in the past, I've been told a lot of things. So there's things that I'm very logical. So I have to touch something. I have to see it. I have to have proof, right? Of what somebody's telling me.
That's what Daddy says.
So many lies throughout this whole process, right?
Yeah.
Sorry, but it's true. So, and then I dig and dig and dig and find either a truth or the truth, right? With proof, because I don't do anything without it. I have to have it. So, as far as the DNA is concerned, I mean, I've known since I was a little kid, I have kind of abnormal skills and abnormal things that happen. Is that mean anything? I mean, I guess I thought everybody can do this, and I guess they can, Riley. You know, if we weren't, you know, being poisoned all the time and all of that.
Monsanto keeping us down from being Jesus.
So the source of humanity. But as far as a computer system is concerned, right? An AI system, a thinking system.
Don't you worry. She's got the proof.
Okay. See, the only override in the past for the predecessors was if over a certain percentage of humanity, all humans walking the earth, agreed on something. It's called like collective conscious. You see that a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that would have overridden
Simon Park's collective consciousness.
Okay.
Right? A computer is only as evil as the person who's running it. Sorry.
It's a tool.
True. Okay, it's a tool. And it can be used for good and it can be used for harm. So when I guess was told I had this job or this position, it came down to, as far as the system part is concerned, that I was like the outlier, the overrider. So 99.8 and all in one person becomes the default over 99.8% of humanity, all agreeing.
So
does that make sense?
It does. And so is this system though connected now with your DNA as like a login, or does it recognize you by your DNA sequence, or is there some other way that it recognizes you?
Well, it did by DNA sequence, right? So as an example, 10 years ago or 15 years ago, our cell phones maybe had a password, right? We really didn't see a lot of smartphones, until maybe a few years after that. And so now we have smartphones that have had fingerprints after that, right? Now we also have smartphones that have facial recognition as your login.
Yeah.
As an example.
So the Cabal banking system recognized her.
So it's just a
this the bitch right here.
Right? So it looks for several points, and that way
makes sense to me.
Possible. So in other words, the other thing is that then when everybody kind of found out who I was, then it was like, let's kidnap Kim, right? That happened.
I'm not laughing to laugh. I mean, I was curious. One of my questions was, why hasn't somebody tried taking you out if you are who you claim to be?
Oh, a lot. I've been poisoned 3 times. I've got all kinds of scars.
No, Kim.
Lots of fights and stuff throughout the world. This is not abnormal. I've been many places with and without passports, but I've got scars to prove it.
I believe you. No.
But to answer your question, I had to add in a feature that allowed the system to read brainwaves as well. So if I'm under duress, it won't let me log in. So it's not just DNA. Otherwise, someone would have cut off some body part of mine. It also is temperature. It reads a lot of different points, and it's just a more.
That makes perfect sense right there. I can understand what she's saying though.
Of
course.
There's a lot more, but yeah, we even have the capacity to do this in banking right now with the technology we have. Right.
Of course, you couldn't cut off her DNA and log in. That's silly.
I mean, I know several inventors of this technology. There's videos on YouTube about it. So it's entirely possible to have complete secure financial system.
No, and I know it is, and hopefully we'll be seeing something like that implemented in the future. Hopefully sooner than later as well. Now, when I asked Tank about this in the interview that I did, which I'll have a link down below, I interviewed him this past Friday. I asked, who was it that chose you? Who told you, not necessarily the person that told you, but the theys? How were you chosen? His really unique answer, he said, short answer, God. And I kind of would like to get a little bit more of an explanation of that. Like, how did you get chosen for this? And how was it communicated to you?
Okay. So I started after the crash, right? After the market crash, I started getting into this whole other world of finance, which I was brought into on a trip to London in 2008. And I started learning that there are these, at the time they were presented to me as benevolent dragon families and benevolent Asians. We've all heard the stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started reaching out to that whole community and trying to find someone that could help the United States. Because remember, I was very green and very American, meaning I had gone to Mexico a couple times, Canada, I really had Caribbean. I really was living a normal American person life. I didn't know anything about any of this
What?
stuff, right?
Okay.
So I started learning that, well, this is where the money is. And I'm thinking, well, the United States is crashing. We need help. I need to find someone that can give some gold assets to the United States and not to the Fed, to the Treasury. I'd already learned that part, started watching videos, just like everybody else, right? And so I found a lady who was a trustee at the time. Mm-hmm. And she was an Indonesian woman. Her last name is Nystrom. She was married to a Swedish man, and according to the people I was working with, she was the right one. Well, unbeknownst to me at the time, because this lady is they're all very evil and devious, I promise you they are. And this lady proved up, and then she agreed to go on a trip with me, and we were going to go to Switzerland because she told me that she could sign for some stuff at UBS and other places, right?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I took off 2010, went on a trip to Switzerland. Switzerland took me to Germany. Germany took me to back to Switzerland. Then from Germany, I went to France for a little while. I went from France back to Germany. Then eventually I landed in Russia because she was a, not Indonesian, I apologize, Thai citizen. And she had a Class C block on her passport. So the only place she could go to without a visa at that point where we could actually do this was Russia. So on Christmas Eve, I landed in Russia, 2010.
Fun.
Yeah. And I met her there, finally, face to face. And she was an interesting character. Unbeknownst to me, I was there with a Mossad agent and also a German SS officer. And
what? Mossad and SS?
Journey, right? And so then the Russian government came in, and and everybody was talking about, then all the Fed people came in.
Jeez Louise, sounds like a tricky moment there.
Showed up, and everybody was negotiating their piece of the pie if we were going to trip the system. Well, unbeknownst to me, here I am thinking I am the.
It's the third time it's been unbeknownst.
Right? Mm-hmm. I'm the trustee. I'm sorry. I'm just like an intermediary. I just wanted my, commission and whatnot, and I was going to take off. That was it. And this lady was the one. And turns out I was the principal, and she was the trustee. And so she needed me, and she knew it the whole time. And I didn't know it. I didn't know anything about it. So, of course, we played also the Tomorrow game. They were investigating. I went through the Russian Inquisition, 3-4 days of constant questioning, check this, check that. And then it was time to do the switch. Or
Is it making sense now?
Switch, retina scan and all these fingerprints and all these things, right? And they flipped the switch, and apparently all the answers came back with, I'm the new trustee. So I remember this vividly. I was sitting in my hotel room in Moscow.
She's the new trustee.
So into it. And he calls
the woman tricked her there, saying that she could provide gold to America to help with the economic crisis. Turns out Kimberly had to be there to provide gold to the rest of the world. Duh.
And he says, congratulations. This is a friend of mine that would have worked in and around the Department of Defense agencies. I call him my ghost friend, right? Because you never know where he's going to be. He goes in and out of everywhere. And I'm like, congratulations for what? And he goes, well, you're the new trustee. I'm like, what? Like, I didn't apply for the job. I didn't ask for the job. I wasn't trying to get a job.
Again, she is the trustee, which means she controls all the money of all the deep state forever and ever. Amen.
I was just wanting my little piece, and I thought I'd do
I'm gonna love you forever and ever.
Back to my business like it was, right? That was my theory.
Okay.
And then in comes the Russian government, right? Says, well, you're the new trustee. Who are you? And how did you get this job? I said, well, I have no idea what you're talking about. I just got a call 10 minutes ago from my friend. Like, I don't know. And then I started, my first thought was, wow, I can do so many great things for humanity. This world is in a mess, and wow, I can do some really great humanitarian projects and all these things. That was first thought.
For people who are unfamiliar with what the title trustee is, how would you define that in this particular instance?
By the way, somebody told me the other day when I vape, like it bothers them in the microphone, like it's too loud, annoying, or whatever. I do try to keep it away from the microphone. It just comes through sometimes. I apologize, but it happens.
Well, and I didn't even know this at the time.
That's right, Gabby.
So everybody calls it the trust. So I assumed it was a trust, right? So if it's a trust, then it would be beneficiaries, right? There would be the beneficial owners of the trust, and then you would have a trustee, atypically a lawyer, or it could be anyone that you choose, really. But most people choose like a law firm or a CPA or something to be a trustee. Yeah. And so their job is just to manage the affairs in accordance with the rules and regs of the trust.
Mm.
And I assumed that's what I was doing at the time.
Okay.
But it was so, that began the deep dive down the rabbit hole for sure.
So what is a trustee now? Now that you've learned
Dreamweaver,
define it as your position as trustee, are you the one person who's able to access that trust like account, like whatever it is?
Well,
and I don't know if it's the quantum financial system, the quantum mapping system, how it intertwines. I did watch your video, which I'll have linked down below, for your explanation of the back end of the system, which I found very fascinating as well.
Well, quantum to me means, energy spanning time and space, right? That's what quantum physics.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's how the system functions. And it processes at a ridiculously high rate. There are some systems out there that are starting to come out and about that they're calling quantum, but in reality, they're not, in my opinion, because a true quantum system would be able to span time and space, and this does. It sends information all over the multiverse. It's highly interconnected, and some in the past, when it was under its old program, would have said it has the ability to be God or to be source.
The system itself that's ran by the AI? Well,
it was never run by an AI.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right, let me tell you what an AI system truly is, because everybody calls it this big scary thing on the internet, right? Your dryer is an AI system. If you have a smart dryer from within the last 10 years, typically it turns off when your clothes are dry, right?
Right.
And it's not always right, by the way.
That's not AI in the traditional form. AI is separated by everything else. Sorry. AI is usually separated traditionally by anything else because it fucking learns. That's the intelligence part. Automated is something completely different. So if it's got a sensor in there that says, okay, the moisture content in your dryer is 0.1%, turn it off. That would be different than it checks and says the moisture content is 0.3%. The last 50 times we've saw it at 0.2% or lower, and I know the homeowner prefers a warmer and or drier towel. These are towels inside because I've seen images of towels. I can identify towels. So I'm going to run these down to 0.1 to please the homeowner. It's the learning factor. Then if that was true, you could say anything with the sensors AI, and it's not. AI is cataloged because it learns.
So, mine isn't. I don't know.
It's a not so smart dryer sometimes.
Yeah, it's a not so smart dryer sometimes. But anyway, that's an AI system. So
Nope.
it's checking multiple points of the.
The easiest way to describe what AI is, and a system that fully integrates it, is the self-driving car AI from Tesla. Basically, they build a computer that they want to drive a car, and they want it to avoid people, animals, and cars. They started by building this system, and it had no idea. It knew what a car shape was, a person shape was, and an animal shape was. Then they started showing it images, and they would show it an image and say, this is a car, this is a person, this is an animal, this is a car, this is a person, this is an animal. And it was different pictures at different angles, And it learned that and stored it in its memory over and 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 over again until they started throwing up a picture and saying, what is this? Not this is a car, but what is this? We're not talking about the one they currently use. We're talking about the next gen one. Then they would say, what is this? Until now, it uses sensors to build a map to where it can identify everything. When something goes across the road, it uses sensors and its information and learned information to see what size it is, what its density is, how fast it was moving, what its relevant size is to the car, and it can say squirrel or deer or whatever. Is it still done for sensors? Yes, it is. Technically, it picks up all that shit with sensors, but when it's wrong, it stores that in its memory and learns on its own. No one's hitting Control S. That was a car. Control S. That was a fucking this. Control S. It's learning on its own completely. If you feed it enough input, it gets a baseline. Then you can quiz it to make it stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And at a certain point, you can put it out into the world, and you no longer have to run the quizzes. You no longer have to check up on it and make sure it's not seeing a cow as a car. It does it on its own. That's artificial intelligence. It's not just, the dryer shuts off when moisture density is at 0.3%. The biggest factor is the learning on its own. No one's there to correct it. It has enough data now that car's data set, just like teaching a kid, you all right. That car's data set was stored, it was put in, and then someone went over and over and over again. Now, if a human never touches that data set again, it'll only get better and better and better and better. If a human never touches that data set again, it'll only get better. If I take and make a dryer that can identify lights versus darks, if I put a light sensor in there and it hits it with an infrared light and it can tell you whether I'm running a dark load or a light load or mixed, it'll always be as good as I programmed it at the factory. Always. It'll always be as good as I programmed at the factory and maybe get worse when the sensors get cloudy or covered or blah, blah, blah. If you take artificial intelligence, feed it enough information for it to get started, it'll only get better and no human ever has to touch it again. It's thinking for itself.
Object that's inside it and then makes a determination to turn off, right? Switch off. Your refrigerator.
Mine too, Rage. And then it goes, and Mariah doesn't like the so she always turns it off, but every time I walk by it, I turn on the just so she hears it.
You know, if you have a modern refrigerator from the last few years, it's an AI system as well. Your dishwasher is an AI system. I mean, your phone is an AI system. It's tied to Fitbit, right? It's tied.
So a lot of times your phone will learn certain things. I don't know if it's classified as AI, but your phone will learn when you're home. It'll learn when your sleep pattern is. It'll learn to tell you to lay down. Some phones will learn your most commonly used apps at certain times and open them. If every day you sit down for dinner and open up Frog News Network, some phones will have an option that you can turn on, and it'll know that you sat down for dinner. It knows your location. It knows where you're at. It knows it's the same thing every day and turns it on. I don't think it's far enough to be classified as AI because I don't see the learning feature of it once it's learned. Once you click the box and say save, yes, I watch this every day. But there are AI systems out there and they do learn. That is the intelligence part. Without that, then you're saying every electronic in the world is AI. You're saying that a fucking 5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton with a goddamn pickup and magneto on the cool is AI. It's not. It doesn't learn. It doesn't get better.
To a lot of different things. All these things are just our AI systems. So what an AI system actually does, it has the ability to take in information from multiple data points and then spit out information. That's what a mapping system is.
Wait a second.
system. It's tied to Fitbit, right? It's tied to a lot of different things. All these things are AI systems.
All these things are AI systems.
So what an AI system actually does,
What an AI system actually does,
it has the ability to take in information from multiple data points and then spit out information.
No, that's not true. That's not AI. That's just sensors reading information and giving you a feedback. So if I take a machine and I want it to carve aluminum cans out of solid aluminum, that's not how they make aluminum cans. But say I want it to carve out aluminum cans out of solid aluminum, and it's got tool heads and fixtures and arms that move it. It'll look like a very complicated machine. But as long as it just keeps making this can, it's not AI. It's just a fucking robot that makes one thing and nothing changes. Now, if I add an auxiliary unit that interfaces with it, that takes measurements of the cans in a feedback loop and improves the tooling pattern to where my cans only get better and better and better and less rejects go out and out and out, and I never have to touch it again, and it learns that, then that's AI. What she's talking about is not at all.
That's what a mapping system is.
Okay.
Okay. Now you add a third factor in there where it's just a mathematical function. This will take you back to Algebra 1. A function is if X happens, do Y. So no different than you playing a video game on your computer, right? If the
No, that's not true. That's not true.
does X, do Y, right?
Right.
If you shoot the other character falls down. That's the same. That's what an AI system is. And so this system here just has the ability, because it does run on life force or source energy, right? The God particle. It has the ability to
Her system runs on God particles.
map things organic and non-organic.
That was what I nicknamed my penis in high school, the God particle.
And it makes an assessment. So that's all a mapping system truly is. It's not anything crazy.
The danger that people talk about with AI is not because a computer knows that if it gets 72 right inputs and then a left input to throw out the left input. The danger with AI is once it's up and once you give it its basic data set, it only gets better and more advanced without any input from a human ever. It's not like you program it at the factory and from that day it's either going to do that good or worse. It teaches itself to be better. That's how you end up with fucking robots that replace humans because they figure out that we're destroying the earth. So like if you build an AI robot to fix global warming, these are the scenarios they come up with, like Skynet and shit. Let's say we build an AI robot that its only mission is to save the earth from global warming. And it starts taking temperatures, and it starts automatically issuing, carbon tickets, and it starts automatically metering carbon output at power plants that are owned by the federal government, and it's a federal government computer. And then it starts automatically limiting production of certain things and models and stuff and rerouting flights because to reduce carbon emissions and blah, blah, blah. And it starts automatically doing that. Then one day it decides the issue is not the carbon, it's not the power plants, it's not the airplanes, it's not the automobiles. The issue is humans. And then it decides to pull a red flag measure and teach itself how to destroy humans. That's where you get the comic book style or a horror flick or Black Mirror or whatever you want to say of AI destroying humanity.
It's just the energy source of this. Right?
Okay.
So if you are powered, right, if you're not connected to Wi-Fi, you've got access to everything on your computer. Right?
Right.
If you're connected to Wi-Fi, you now have a connection to other computers in your home. And you also have a connection to the World Wide Web. And that's how you and I are connecting today.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's because there's a network of data cables that were laid by the CIA they finished it in 1978. that laid the ports and the internet nodes to allow for the internet or telecommunications to circulate worldwide. Then we went.
Oh, you don't understand how internet works either.
Satellites, right? Called LOEs, microwave meshing. We now have cell phones. Nobody really listens to regular radio anymore. Everybody's got Spotify. All these things have changed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're just now coming into tech that we've had as humanity over 1,000 years ago. I mean, this is not new.
Yeah.
Thousands of years ago, even.
When I look at history, that there's a lot to question as far as what we've been lied to and what is.
I know she's not going to understand AI and be able to put it in a form that anybody else can understand if she doesn't understand how to basically explain how the internet works. So the internet was a military, probably a black project at one time. But it basically, the way the internet works in simplest forms is it's a line of data wires, right? And from that data, whether it's wireless or wires, it has to be wired at some point. There's a IP, which is Internet Protocol. It breaks everything down. The pictures you see, the videos you watch, my voice coming across into packets. And these packets conform to a certain protocol that everything else has to conform to read and understand and show. And from those Internet Protocol packets, those packets can be delivered in data form, which is basically just binary, a light flashing on and off. That's the way fiber internet works, is a light flashing on and off to decode these packets and lay them out in the way that they were intended for. When I take this and I package it up into 6 billion packets and I send it to someone else, as long as the protocol is the same, which it has to be for it to work, then just the way I packaged this picture up, you'll receive it on the other side unpacked and out of these packets, and that's it.
Existed prior to where we are now, because it does seem like.
And since then, it's only gotten faster and more standard. Faster and more standard since its basic inception, but the packets parts remains unchanged.
There was a lot more going on. So I'm still trying to get some clarity on who were the days that decided that you were the DNA representation, the ambassador.
In my personal opinion, the computer is, that's not an opinion, that's fact. The computer has the multiverse's largest mapping system. And the one that is here on Earth is one of many that are interconnected, right? So it's mapping everything. Now, apparently, the computer system has an algorithm that once you hit the age of 40, right, now you can participate. So in the past, they would use, to override humanity's decisions, they would use like a 44%er and a, 50-something percenter, right? So 54% or 56% or whatever, it had to be above a certain percentage, and they would match them up together, and then there would be the person or the party who was running the back system at that time would make the ultimate decision. So it was 3 keys. That's why the Vatican has 3 keys. That's why everybody has three keys. Like, there's a lot of symbology around 3 keys, because it was 2 to get in, 3 to get out. So you still have to have the master switch, right?
Yeah, I don't. Will it let me do that? I can enter embed code, copy URL, page source. So this is what's sent when you build a web page. This is what's showing here. Sort of. Like, the video's not stored here, but it tells the computer where to get the video from, which is a whole different thing. So like youtube.com, S desktop, blah, blah, blah. That means I'm watching on a desktop. Somebody else would say mobile, but these are the lines that form this page. And when your computer gets this in protocol type and decodes it, then on the other end, you would get this, basically.
So the only party that could override that would be the collective consciousness of the entire planet Earth at the time. So every human would have to make a decision, get up that day, 99-point-something% minimum, and would have to make the decision that day that they wanted $100 to be transferred to every single person's account. Well, half the people aren't even going to believe you, right?
Right.
Okay, all you got to do is concentrate, and that $100 is going to come, I promise you. Right, so go sit down on the New York subway and tell that story. You'll be locked up by dinner time, promise.
Easily.
So they knew that was never going to happen. In the dumbing down and no education and the false information that kept going out was ensuring this would never ever take place, and no one would even know it existed, let alone.
Well, technically, a computer can only see 1 and 0. That's the only data sets they can see. So even this page source, each letter each identifier, each angle bracket, each slash, each everything is broken down to a series of ones and zeros.
Try to run it, right? So apparently on my 40th birthday is when the whole switch flipped. So that's when I officially became what they used to call trustee. Then in 2018, when the covenant expired, then I became guardian. So I'm no longer I'm now guardian.
And would it be safe to say that you're the only person that's able to do anything with this entire system?
Well, to my knowledge, it does take a special skill set, and it would require my permission.
Okay. And for people, I want people to know that the idea with this particular conversation interview is to kind of get a little bit of a summary, to get a basic idea.
She's basically saying that there's a banking system that controls our regular banking system that we see, but it is like a deep state cabal banking system. And she became the sole owner and operator of that deep state system, which means she has access to all the deep state cabal money. But also, if she doesn't keep that system up and running, then the visible system, which is a system that we operate on, would also shut down. But it's almost like a Nasara Gasara thing. That's why she's promising people money. That's why she's promising she can take care of people. That's why she's promising she can help people. That's why she's promising she's good and not bad. And that's why they're trying to kill her, because they want the money for bad stuff, but she's a good person. It's just, it's all about the money and the banking system. Not to mention she's an ambassador to intergalactic off-planet species and this and that, because she's a head of this system. So basically, the whole head of the cabal is just the money head. She's the head of everything, is her claim.
Things, and hopefully, with Kim,
because she has the right DNA and the right skill set.
A little bit more. So I do encourage people to comment down below, and I do encourage people to make sure that they're keeping an open mind and just be respectful. And if you got anything you want to share, definitely please share some information so that we could be productive in what.
There you go, the new Dove of Oneness with the other scam.
I just want to give people some clarity of
the other Nasara Gasara scam.
I'm lost. I'm just really lost. I'm lost too, and we're just trying to find the way. So.
Well, let me help you. You've been talking to a lot of people that talk about QFS, right? Quantum Financial System.
I've heard it a whole lot, yeah, and I'm hearing it being used more in a in regard, like from what I'm understanding, if it is real, and not talking about Russell J. Gould's thing, but the other quantum financial system would be more of a deep state cabal kind of thing that goes into the great reset that we're talking that I've mentioned a lot in my videos.
Well, from my perspective, my first run-in with what they're calling a quantum financial system would have been a border hacking computer. That's what it's called. You can look up what that is if you don't know. It's called a border computer.
Okay.
Yeah. And what it is when they connect a bunch of computers together, and then it gives them all that computing power together.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like blockchain does.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is it because that's for me? Anytime I have heard anything about the quantum financial system, I've always told people it's just a fancy way of talking about blockchain technology. Whether or not it's blockchain or like a Hashgraph type technology, it's an open ledger type system.
So the way blockchain works, I can't believe I'm having to explain all this shit, but she claims to be the leader of this. Mariah can come back whenever the fuck she wants. The way blockchain works is someone makes a coin. There's a limited amount of coins. Sometimes there isn't a limited amount of coins. There has to be eventually, but sometimes they kind of leave it open-ended. Sometimes they say there's only this many coins. The coins have value because you purchase them at a value. Just like the stock market, the more they sell and the faster they sell, selling makes the price go up. Holding a lot of times makes the price go down, depending on other factors like belief and sentimental value, all kinds of shit. The reason that it links to other people's computers is just to get the coins, to transfer the coins, to store the data from the coins, takes computer work. It takes hashing. It uses people's computer systems to be able to exist, to be traded, transferred, sold, bought, it has to have that data processing power. A lot of coins, if you're willing to dedicate a portion of your computer to helping the coin be sold, exist, transferred, bought and sold, then they will pay you in a percentage of that coin. So that's what mining is. When you mine a coin, you are running the algorithm for that coin to help other people with that coin, either the development, the existence of it on a marketplace, the buying and selling of that coin in exchange for a portion of that coin or another coin. And that's all it is. It's a computer chain. It's still a series of binary code that says this is one token, it exists for this amount, and it just goes up and down like the stock market. But a lot more things can influence it. So like, just hop from somebody tweeting can influence it and drive the price up. Or if a company decides to accept, so let's say I start Birdcoin, and Birdcoin, each Birdcoin's worth $1, and that's what we put it out there at. Now, if you help me mine it, I'll give you 1/10 of a Birdcoin a day. So in 10 days, you would have $1. Let's say you mine 3 of them, and we're running around and we're doing Birdcoin, and there's 10 billion Birdcoins around, and they're all worth $1. Let's say that fucking Little Caesars says, oh, we're going to accept Birdcoin as a transactional trade. You can use Birdcoin to pay this, that. Cool. That would probably drive the price up some. But let's say let's say a city scooter rental. So like, you know how you can buy scooters and bicycles in bigger cities? Let's say a scooter rental place says, not only are we going to use Birdcoin, but we're going to use Birdcoin exclusively. You pay in cash, we transfer it into Birdcoin, we send it to our bank, transfer it out of Birdcoin, and pay ourselves, and that's how we get paid. That would drive the price up huge, because it's exclusively used. We know we're going to get a lot of cycles out of Birdcoin. We know it has value, and it adds integrity to it. When a company wants to use it, it gives it legitimacy. People think that it's powerful. That's why Bitcoin is one of the most well-known. That's why it has power. There's also a lot of hype that drives it. There's a lot of scams where people do IPOs, which are the initial offer of coins when they open them up and say, hey, we're going to do this. There's a lot of lying that goes on, and people who create cryptos. Mining's not bad. You can make money mining. When you try to start buying, selling, or influencing, then for everybody who makes money, there's probably 5 or 6 people who get fucked. Mining's a good deal. If you've got the processing power, or you've got a miner of some type, like a little computer that just mines, you can make money with that.
It's just a method
and be pretty safe.
You can buy a $200 laptop at Walmart, right? And it will work for most purposes, but you're not going to be able to store terabytes, of data. It's probably going to have 2G, not 5G. And it's going to go process a little slower. You're going to pull up your websites a little slower, but you could buy a $1,000 laptop, right? And, God, it's crystal clear. You got touch screen, you get all these additional features, right?
Yeah.
So blockchain, before the advent of blockchain and Bitcoin, I was sitting in a hotel room in Switzerland.
Not enough table here.
November, right, on my other trip. And someone handed me some funky looking money. I was like, well, what's that? And he said, well, that's the new Amero. This is going to be the currency of the North American continent. I'm like, okay. I said, when's that going to happen? And he said, next week. Within the next 2 weeks, this will be circulating all over North America, and we're going to replace the Fed dollar. And that was in 2010. And then the next system was the Babylon system, right? The border computer Babylon system. We heard a lot about that. It's all over the internet from days of old. Now, does anybody know, do you know what happened in Babylon? Babylonian gods.
Yeah, I'm trying
power
to
goes down.
I'm looking into the Anu, the Enki, Enlil, Marduk, all kinds of things. But it's not clear. It's we've got these tablets that people aren't even 100% sure that they know how to translate.
Okay, Mariah's here.
Well,
I'm sure there is somebody that knows, but as far as what we're being told is like the everyday person. I'm more familiar with Zachary Stitchin and his work, and then a few other people. I don't know beyond that, and I'm not even sure if what he's translated would actually be the correct translation or not, because there's no key that I'm aware of that I've been presented with. That's that logic, that factual evidence.
Well, let me ask you a question, right? And I ask this of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
They know. Okay, they know that people are looking for answers. Why did this happen? Why did this happen to me? Why did the market crash? Now we're hearing about the deep state. Who's the deep state? They know people are going to go on the internet and look. So they're always going to present themselves as the good guys. Always. And so you're like, thank God.
He gets to the point where he asks her about the $3,300. He even visits her where she lives eventually to get to the bottom of this.
Someone else is saving humanity. I'll just follow these people, right? As they save humanity. No one even knows the name of the person of the Earth Alliance, right? Or the Alliance or the saviors.
Right. No.
Stop looking for saviors. Stop. Myself included. Stop. You are the savior.
She says stop looking for saviors, but she pitches herself as everything but the word savior.
Collectively, humanity together, globally, is the savior. That is the answer.
I'm glad you said that. I really am.
If you want information, look within. It's all there. Everything you need is there. Have you ever been crossing the street or about to leave your house and you get that weird niggling feeling like something's going to happen?
Yeah. Maybe I should stay home today.
Yeah, or maybe I should get a gallon of milk. Well, I don't know why I'm buying two, right? But maybe I should get an extra one, and then turns out, the store's out. Right.
Shut
The point
up.
is that is your inner self, your higher self, telling you something. So the information that you get is directly from God, from source. That's, it's not a loud booming voice and a big guy in a chair and, chit-chatting with you. It's just your inner self. So when you want to know something, ask yourself. Because the internet's going to be tainted, because the bad guys know you're looking for a savior. Someone else to save you.
I thought you wanted a solo.
Gurus or me or Hank, anybody, right?
No, I agree because I know who controls the internet.
You pressured your way in here. I didn't fucking invite you for shit.
I was here for a reason, and it wasn't Kim.
What comes up when you put in any particular words?
They're going to put all their CIA agents first.
Right. They're going to put a lot of misinformation. And I know that there's truth out there. It's just
I already talked about it. What do you want to say?
Nothing. Now it would be awkward. Now. Stop.
Mariah wants to yell.
No, I don't want to yell.
You should have heard the words she called these other people.
No. I didn't say any words. Stop.
Bitch assiness.
Quit.
What else did you say?
Don't spill my wine.
Get a little tipsy to start talking shit.
Matter of deciphering through that truth, and most people aren't in tune, even myself, aren't in tune with ourselves enough to be able to decipher and really be able to distinguish what 20% of the truth is versus
I used to date a stripper named Jasara.
I would not doubt it.
80% of the lies.
But you can if you just look inside.
And I'm trying.
You'll know it feels weird. You'll know it feels strange. It doesn't feel right. It doesn't sound right. It sounds odd to you. Like you even have said, before we started recording today, you said to me, well, that just sounds crazy. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll kick
Yeah, well, when you put everything together,
I'm gonna get breast cancer.
Extraterrestrial,
just to spot me? That's horrible.
History with Babylon, the Anunnaki, the Marduk stuff. It does get a little bizarre.
Well, and okay, so let's just do it.
Valid.
Well, but we can take certain people that we've discussed before, right?
Okay.
And they're all about the Vatican. We're going to send letters to the Pope, and we're going to send letters to the president, and we're going to do all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's go down the rabbit hole for a while. Okay, Vatican's been in existence for a few hundred years, right?
Right.
About 500 years or more. Christianity.
1,000 years.
Okay. Well, the Vatican in its current modern day form. I think the Holy See was formed in 1500 something. I don't remember the exact date.
I don't know offhand, but I think you're about right.
Okay. Now, if you Google Vatican pedophiles, right?
Okay.
And you'll come up with all these people testifying that they were raped by priests. It's in the mainstream media.
Vatican
you can find
pedophiles.
Information about the priests doing pedophile things. And
I don't know what to say to that.
Okay.
You don't know about it?
By deduction,
No,
we can
I'm
say
not even
that
listening.
millions of Catholics, right, and non-Catholics have been harmed by the Vatican. You can watch series like Da Vinci's Demons, which talks about what happened with the Medicis and the Catholic Church and the popes of the day. The information is out there. You just have to be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together.
Right.
Now, you have certain persons that are writing letters to the Pope, asking for help, give the money back. Now, that makes no sense to me. It's like saying, I gave my child to the pedophile to babysit, and now I'm mad that my child was molested.
Right.
Okay. Well, these people have been stealing. If you watch, it's Da Vinci's Demons. It's an old television show about 5-10 years ago. Something.
I don't think that's kosher. She said, if you're a member of the Vatican Church and you let your kid go to church and he gets molested, that's the same as hiring a pedophile as a babysitter, using that pedophile babysitter, and then being like, oh no, my kid got molested. A lot of people trust the people from their church. Yeah, they've had a scandal within the Catholic Church, sure, but most people believe and trust and like their I don't know, rabbi, what's a priest. They trust their priest. I don't think that's the same. I don't think that's the same fucking analogy.
And it tells you that the Vatican stole everything from all of the kings and the lords in all of Europe. And then also in Latin America and many other places, right? It tells you. Murdered.
How do you murder an Anunnaki? a Marduk?
Everything
do they believe
bleeds and everything dies.
So, I mean, because this is what people...
Everything breathes, everything dies.
Well, see, that's the problem. Stop. Yourself come in, right?
Funny for me.
I am actually watching the show on location right now in my bathroom, seated prominently on my throne.
There you go. That is King David. King David, son of father to brother Dave. King David on the throne. Thank you for that donation, Dave. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't worship anything. If it bleeds and it dies, as far as I'm concerned, you're just like me.
What is your relationship with Source?
100% the big boss.
Do you have direct communication with Source?
I feel a lot of love here tonight. No.
Oh, Source is God, by the way. That's why they say Source.
I just say God.
You're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, but do you have a conversation where...
Do I go call the Pope and ask to call first? Do I go to a church, or do I do whatever? No, I don't. I just dial direct.
Do you worship the Source, or do you... what is your... I mean, I guess that's what I meant with your relationship. Like, is Source a deity? It's just Source is just Source. Source is the all. It's one of those unanswered questions that I'm just not sure about, that everybody wants to know the answer to. What is Source?
Okay.
You can actually
no. When you get time, okay, so if you're watching this, when you're done watching this, or when you have time, right, I want you to walk outside, and I want you to look up, not at the sun, but look up into the air. And the first thing you'll notice is you'll see these little things moving around, and they almost look like floaties in your eye, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You ever seen that? Like, you can see it everywhere.
Squigglies.
It's just easiest when you're first starting to see it outside. So go outside and you look around, and you'll start to see these little floating things in the sky.
It's like snow on TV almost.
Kinda.
Yeah.
And then if you focus in, it's almost going to feel like you're going cross-eyed to just one of those particles, and you'll notice it's giant sparks. They're all sparks moving in unison. That same spark exists within you. That's how it's your energy. That's your life.
The God spark.
That same spark exists in everything that's organic in the multiverse. It's like
my papa used to call them pecker gnats.
Like a network computer, right?
Because they get on a dog's pecker.
It's a giant concentration of that light. So if you want to connect in the network,
pecker on a wood, pecker on a vine. See your pecker, but you don't see mine.
If you're in an office and you want to connect Bill down the hall or on the 4th floor, you just type in the coordinates, right? How to reach Bill. And there's Bill on your messenger, right?
Yes, there are people that believe that she's giving them money. Anybody has a bank account is getting $3,300.
Right.
Because you're connected.
Respects what they're doing, especially when you're not charging for your work.
Well, we have something very interesting. So our app is a subscription, and there's 2
This just in, Mariah said she wants some money.
I do want some money. Give me some.
For what purpose?
And different purposes. A new husband.
Right? You can get it with or without United Network Plus. It's very reasonably priced.
Okay.
However, we also have a section coming out called Banned. So, yeah, well, you know how it's called Banned, like banned from YouTube, banned from...
Oh, BANNED, okay.
Right, where you can have and upload your own videos and do your own shows.
So basically, I guess you could break it down as I don't know what mental disorder she has, but she invents different orders and companies and groups of people, and she's the leader of all of them. She doesn't believe in God. She knows that there's aliens, but they don't worship the aliens because they believe in bleed and die. She instead believes in something called Source, which is what everything come from. It's a series of sparks that are within you, within pecker gnats, within everything. She claimed that she was giving out people money. She didn't give out that money. She actually sent Rice TV, and he shows them in his next interview that she's like there's a picture of like a bank vault with a bunch of money, and she claims that that's the Cabal bank stash, I guess. But there's still people that believe her. She also pitches a narrative that Trump is not a good guy or a bad guy. He was just an actor. And as this actor, is it on? I can't remember if it's on today's show or yesterday's show. Let's do this. As that actor, he was actually working for a group called the Black Suns, and he was just bringing something forward, I guess. Let's see. I think it's on this show. Let's see if we can find this lady that comes in.
That usually stands.
It might not have even been on this show. It might have been on the after show. There's a lady that comes in and talks about it.
Putting out.
Yeah, I don't remember Jeff being there. I think it's on the after show, maybe.
I think.
Let's try this afterglow thing. Wait, is this all from tonight? Streamed one day. No, he was on the main channel tonight, I'm assuming.
Thanks for checking us out. We really do find people to know how to find. It's Afterglow.
Yeah, the first of it was a 30-minute intro. Maybe it's a show from yesterday. Maybe it's on the main channel.
We'll just have a great evening. It's Saturday night, man. I'm sorry.
It wasn't on there. Let me go to Liberty Warrior 2. I want to. She's still running into people, and I'll show you that people actually believe her. Maybe it's this one.
Wow, Irish Eyes South twice. Thank you for. Yvonne.
Yeah,
okay,
Yvonne.
all right.
Is it this lady?
And she told me that.
This is her. This is it.
Something. Can you share screen for? And well, it's good to see you guys. You know, I'm in California.
This proves that people still believe this shit.
Back the thing today. I went to the farmer's market today, and I wanted to. Some lady. So right away when I get there, I go to Chuck and Genevieve, and Mike knows Chuck and Genevieve. Chuck is 86 years old. Genevieve is a bit younger, like 20 years, I guess. Yeah. And anyways, I have a video of what happened there, but that's not what I want to share because that's just a confrontation. Something else happened. A woman, Susie, came up to me and told me about an organization that if you want to find a recourse of action, it's called UNN Today, UNN.today. And she told me that I want to show you something. Can you share screen for me? And I will do mine so I won't do what I did last time.
If you do it this time, I would be glad to help
sir.
you.
No porn.
No porn.
Last time you thought you were and you weren't.
And they just let me go on and on to a hurt.
I know what you were doing. I didn't know what. I thought you were just gonna. Yeah, I thought you were gonna tell us all this and then show us. I didn't know what you were doing.
Please don't throw shit and then slam your hand.
This woman
They
told
can
me
hear all
basically
that.
what she said was, this organization will.
This is the official network of Kimberly Gogan.
Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Okay.
Yeah,
So it's called. This is what it looks like up here. Well, the home, it says UNN.today. Okay. What she told me was this woman named. Where is her name? This has to do with the central banking system, and her name is Kimberly Gogan. Okay. And then I go down here, and I saw what she said to me was something about this black sun. She did say that Mr. T is not on our side, but that he did expose all this for us. And this organization, not that he's not on our side, but you know how we don't know what's really going on with him, right? But she said they invited him in this Order of the Black Sun. Okay. And so this whole organization, what she said to me was that, how do I stop sharing?
She's telling you exactly what I just showed you about Kimberly Gogan.
Money. You tell them what you need to change your situation in your area, said, and they will help you to get together, to connect. So
you tell them how much money you need to change your situation in your area, and they send you money or tell you how to go get the money, right?
Sure.
Just looked at it right before I got on with you guys. I don't know anything about it yet, but this woman was like all aglow. Like she's like, it's gonna be okay. She was comforting me in a way that I cried when she was done talking to me. And it could be all baloney, I don't know, but it's in Colorado. It's an American company, and I just briefly looked at it. It looks really interesting, you guys. It looks like it could be a legit thing, and so I just wanted to come on and share that with you because I'm going to research it and see, if they'll help out at all. But they're about bringing us together. They're about all the things we talk about all the time, and they want us to contact them and let them know of some of these unlawful.
Black hole sun, won't you come?
That's the song I was singing when I heard it.
Wipe away the pain.
Things we're dealing with. So I said, I got all the stuff. Hi, Shane.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
A question for you.
I read a comment I like. What noise I'm gonna make?
I hate you.
Is this coming out of Denver, Colorado?
She did not say it was Denver. She said another place in Denver. Is there something with a V in Colorado? Not Vail.
Vaginaburg.
I'm looking at that letter again. So supposedly she's the guardian of the global central bank, you guys. Her name is Kimberly Gogun, Gogun. She's the director of the. I don't know where it is, Shane. I'll ask this gal because
Shane knows. As soon as he heard the name, Shane knows it's a grift.
But I think I answered my own question about the Black Sun because when I said, "Hey, is he on our side or not?" She said no, but he exposed all this for us. No one's coming to save us, which we know, and so I don't know, you guys. I don't know.
What do you know, Shane? It seems like you have something that you want to share.
Deanna, you go with the Bible much?
Yes, sir. I sure do.
You're going to have people tell you exactly what you want to hear to get you to go to the wrong side?
Sure.
I know exactly who and what you're talking about when you said her name.
Yeah.
You might be very leery of that. That's on your own discernment, but I would be very leery of where this is going to try to take you.
I asked her.
I think a lot of times, maybe not these people. I don't know this lady, but I think a lot of times when we go out and people say, "Oh, well, you should listen to everything and use your own discernment," they don't realize how mentally handicapped a lot of people are. Like, you can't just leave it up to discernment, especially when you're only getting one side of the story. You never see the opposing side. You get one side over and over and over and over and over and over again, and then you see someone else say something different, and you're like, "Nope, that's not what God and Mark said." Like, no, we can't just leave it up to discernment and let everybody figure it out. Look how many idiots are in America. We can't just leave it up to discernment and let everybody figure it out. They have to hear both sides at some point. Hopefully as often as they hear the other side, or they're just going to side with the one they hear the most, right?
Yeah. Did Parisa say she came in here talking shit yesterday?
Oh, maybe. D. Humboldt. If she came in here talking shit, she was the one that got fooled at the airport by someone who was the commander of the Galactic Quantum Financial situation.
I just want to do a shout out real quick. Thank you, Christine Fisher, for the super chat. Appreciate it.
She is.
Oh, yeah, you got that back.
Well, I asked her if it had anything to do with the N and the G, Asaras. She said no.
Nope.
So,
well, Deanna, there's a lot of people in the chat saying some things about her too, Deanna. So just,
Liberty's base group doesn't believe it, but apparently Deanna was fooled pretty easily by it.
They're saying that's her name.
Yeah,
it sounds like she's telling them they're out because, well, what that letter says. I'll put the link in there for you guys. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't really investigate it yet much. I wouldn't be giving them a lot of information about it till I do. That's for damn sure. So don't worry about that. But thank you. I didn't know. I don't know. It's all a bunch of just a bunch of words people put together.
Don't send them money.
I wouldn't have been against what you said until you said the name.
Okay.
That name has come up a lot over the last 7 years.
Don't.
And it's never been as.
Anyways, what do you have to say? We're done.
Now with this shit, finally,
with the show.
We're done with the show already? No, I don't need you bothering me.
I left the last 30 minutes for you alone.
No, you didn't. No.
A soliloquy.
No. I don't.
A solo.
Stop. You put me on the spot and stop looking at my face. I can tell you're looking at it. Stop. You're making me uncomfortable. Yeah, that is Travis. The search for truth is Travis. Oh, stop.
You gotta do the show.
No. I want to be with you.
We're on together.
No. I don't know what to do. I'm going to pinch your balls.
Anyways, guys, what do you guys want to talk about? You got questions for Mariah?
No. Stop. You're pissing me off.
Sounds like when Will and Ollie do the show together.
What's that mean?
Sound like a 5-year-old?
When you get it.
I will cleave bosom from chest.
Stop.
Now show the camera.
I don't know how I put up with him, honestly. I don't need to.
She begged to be on the show. Every time she comes on, the fucking views fall off like they committed suicide off a cliff. And now we're here, and all she wants to do is go, stop. I read your comment.
What the fuck? That does not sound like me at all.
That sounds more like you.
What's my music theme? I don't know. I don't have.
Oh, I know what I need to show you.
Oh. Yes, I reject him all the time. He bitches about it every day.
You want to see my pecker? That's not it. But that is a pepper on the pecker. Where's the old man? Oh, here it is. This is what I was talking about earlier.
Woodpecker pecking out a pie. See you.
Don't
see mine. Here we go.
Well, how about you don't talk over it for everybody else that's trying to fucking hear it, Mariah? Just be quiet for you know it's on a delay.
Woodpecker pecking out a pie. I see you, woodpecker, but you don't see mine. Here we go.
That's Mariah's papaw. His name is Jack. Her dad can dance like that too. His name's Wayne.
Shut up.
Woodpecker pecking on a pine. See your pecker, but you don't see mine.
I hate you.
That's her theme song.
You got a video of the general dancing? Stop.
Stop. Woodpecker pecking on a pine and see your pecker, but you don't see mine. Here's the full. This is the full video. Get ready.
I mean, it is impressive.
So
stop interrupting.
The first one I ever learned went something like this. And I could go fast or slow or however I want to do it. And the next best step I learned was a flat foot dance. Something like this. That's what I call a flat foot dance. Then I learned another one, this guy I saw dance. He called it the back step. Something like this. And that's about it.
This is from a documentary on deep Appalachian life. It was actually really sad. Like they show these people's homes and stuff and what they did for entertainment. It's a real documentary.
What I learned, the different steps I do. I learned them on my own. I can do a tap, go something this way, and I'll do a 1 foot right, 1 foot left. Then I put them both together and get the sound. So you can keep any kind of time that you wish when you got steps like this. You got a good layout to go by. It just comes natural to you when you learn what you're doing. I got one here I call a shotgun blaze. Woodpecker pecking out a pie. I see you, woodpecker, but you don't see mine. Here we go. I'm going to do one for you called the groundhog. Now,
This is called the groundhog, folks.
expert singer, but
Hold on.
keep a rhythm in the time. But just don't pay in mind to the words you listen to or the singing part of it. But I got to do it because I ain't got no other help. It goes something look like this. Left his cornbread land on a shelf. Left his cornbread land on a shelf. Wanting more, you can sing it yourself. Groundhog, groundhog, groundhog. Meat and a hubbard and a hide and turn. Meat and a hubbard and a hide and turn. Fighting groundhog, I'll be done. Groundhog, groundhog, groundhog.
Groundhog, groundhog.
In the chat.
Linda, you're dumb. I don't know what else to say. She is not the galactic commander of the quantum financial system with Earth interbred with human species, and also the only person with a mitochondria from the eve of the dawn of Earth. I just don't believe you. Bullshit. She doesn't have anything. We watched her speak videos. That's how we started the Speak Project. But that's not what this is about. It's about Miranda.
Stop, you're hitting me in the face.
I've seen that documentary. It's actually really sad. The Appalachian documentary thing. It talks about like how simple they are, and like they just like work and do this and do that. Brian, we will bring Wayne on the show.
Wayne's mentally retarded. That's not the same.
You got his genes. They can't even say Linda in the chat because it's a banned word. Anyways, guys, I guess that's it. You want something?
How do I feel about what Travis did? I was not happy about it at all. I felt like it was pretty fucking shitty for sure. How did you feel?
I already talked about it.
Yeah,
He should have at least fucking taken up.
Yeah, he didn't say anything. He didn't even address.
I honestly think Liberty was talking about the chat and not me, but it didn't come off right. It didn't come off well, and Travis let him throw me, the chat, the viewers, everybody from the channel under the bus, and then claims to be part of the channel. So he can run his shows during my show. That's fine. I could care less, but he's not going to be part of our channel, and as entwined in our channel as he is, and then let somebody talk shit about us and just sit there. But that's the whole reason why I wanted to come on. So tell us about it.
Stop. What I didn't understand was why. Stop holding it that close to my mouth.
That's not what you said when we met.
God, I didn't understand how I'm gonna fuck you up. Like, stop.
Threaten me with a good time. It's not even Christmas.
Well, Will didn't say anything last night. And that's what I didn't understand about Mike going on there and saying, that he was upset about our chat, yet he continued to just throw Will under the bus and say shitty things about Will making money, and that Will uses his content to make money, so by God, he's going to use his own content to make money. And if it wasn't about William, then why the fuck did he keep talking about him?
Because he was saying that the chat never calls me a grifter, but they call everybody else a grifter that makes money. So he's like, well, one person can sell stickers that say Meat Hammer, but I can't sell stickers. That's what he said.
We don't even have Meat Hammer stickers, but we need some.
Yeah, but some people are just jealous of the Meat Hammer. They've seen it laid out there. It's like fruit by the foot.
Shit.
I call it dick by the foot.
Yeah. LW's chat is way worse. Like,
yeah, that was one of the shots about like telling our story or whatever, like our family story. But the whole time I was over there, I mean, I appreciate him putting me on, but the whole time I was over there, his chat fucking attacked me, and then in the comments they fucking attacked me, and nothing was said. But I guess that's the way they do it. Like they get one side, let it run, and then I don't know. Nobody takes up for anybody, but it doesn't matter. It's over with now.
Oh, it's not over. It's not over yet.
What are you going to do? Think about it some more?
Yes.
Okay. Hope you enjoy.
Travis has to say for himself.
I don't think he's going to say anything. If he was going to say something, he would have contacted me instead of, talking to other people and saying, well, I don't think that's what happened. He didn't have anything to say to me. He contacted
right to defend himself.
He contacted Nick and tried to defend himself, but he never contacted me.
What a bitch.
That's it. All right, guys, that's it for the show. I'm going to leave you the remix. Mariah's got nothing to say. She never does until the stream is over, and then she wants to bitch. The Search for Truth. It's on Travis's channel. The show he did last night. It's on like 6 different shows. So it all started. My headphones just went out. It all started when Liberty went on Mark's show, Mark from the Frogs. I covered Mark from the Frogs, and Liberty was on there, and I didn't say anything. But I guess chat didn't like him being on there and said something, and that got Liberty mad. Then Liberty went on his after show and said something. Then he went on Travis's show and said something, and then I didn't see any of that. I was in bed, but it was just allowed to be pretty extremely one-sided. But we're out of here, guys. We'll see you on the next one. I don't know. I thought we were making progress. Then it seems like it all went downhill when somebody got a little mad. But anyways, we'll see you on the next one, guys. Have a good night. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the donations. I appreciate them. We had Brother Dave, BB72, Brian Tucker, Jay Hot Ashbury, Bulldozer, Bilebozer, and that other one's from Brother Dave last night. Who needs ours anyways? There. I read that one. And we had a couple of Buy Me a Coffees. I'll read those right quick on our way out. As soon as I can refresh the page. I always forget to. Just to remember, woodpecker pecking on a pine. I see your pecker, but you don't see mine. Woodpecker. No, woodpecker. This lady blue monkey spirit is Universal Bravo Foxtrot Blue Falcon Buddy Fucker. Oh no, that's an old one. That was a Dreamweaver. Thank you for that donation, but that was an old one I'd already read. Someone bought you a 6-pack book. Brought you 5 6-packs from the Wilford Brenner Screw Mark. That was last night. So, yeah, it was just someone bought a single 6-pack. So, thank you for that, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you for the donations. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll see. God damn. Do you always have to go all the way to the base? The glass is not supposed to be in your mouth, Mariah. Jesus Christ. Are you fishing for donations?
I hate you.
I can fit my whole vape in my mouth.
I hate you.
Hold on, let me see it. Mariah puts the base of her lips right here.
Oh, I know.
They're supposed to go here. She puts them right here.
It's that way.
I bet it is the bulbous shape. Anyways, we're out of here, guys.
You have no room to talk. What's going on?
Oh, I don't know.
You always miss all the good shit. You ignore your chat.
Oh, I think Resky's fighting with somebody. We'll
come to my show, get me banned.
We'll get everybody banned. Might as well. Apparently, I'm just a big harassment machine. Guys, I'm out of here. See you on the next one. Have a good night.
Really? Good night. Good night.
Mariah says that she's going to lip her vape more extremely for you next time, as long as you tip big. Wink, wink.
No.
That's not true.
Here we go, I think I started some shit.
Yeah.
It's some off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. It's some off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. And yeah. Woo, woo.
And Mars in the house.
Mariah's never been slowed down by just the tips. Get the fuck out of here.
Needle T.
She's got to have the base of the shaft or nothing.
Social Security card claims, birth certificate claims, Vatican Tunnel,
Medbed,
martial law.
1745, 10 Days of Darkness, digging tunnels, Dogecoin, the Evergreen, 19, Vaseline, boom. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
Well, Johnny, you can go to mommy's basement. The Nazis were working with the reptilians.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. It's some off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up.
Hey, thank you guys, especially the ones who had my back in chat.
We are now
I appreciate that. It didn't seem like anybody else was going to take up for me. At least somebody did. I appreciate that. We'll see you guys on the next one. Everybody have a good night. Sorry if I missed your chat, but I apologize. See you on the next one.
Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers. Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen nothing yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his closet, I found some of his meat rockets. I strapped it to my shoes and then I flew through the roof. I found myself in orbit strapped to an F-16. High on amphetamine, with Trump in between. Put on a light coat of baby oil and saluted the troops. He tapped me on the shoulder and said, "This is gonna be it." Wait. Stop. What? I'll get my files. What are you doing?
I just noticed someone donated $250 to the GoFundMe. I'm pretty sure it was anonymous. Let me make sure. I don't want to say their name, their first name, if it was an anonymous donation. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. The GoFundMe is still going on. We're doing what we can to still raise money. Yeah, it was anonymous, $250. I appreciate that. And a $50 anonymous one before that 5 hours ago. Thank you guys. We're trying our best to find a house and get the hell out of here. It's been as aggravating as everything else. I don't think we're not gonna be able to do the land. I can't get a negotiation or anything on it. But we're doing what we can. We're trying our best to get out of here. Thank you for the donations. I really do appreciate it.
All over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on Cox that came first. 9th inning, second string, and they acting like they know hitters. Assholes throwing bullshit shit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense.